Good old replacement stew tonight. Since you guys are stuck with me on my own, at least for a little while, we'll see when Charlie can join us. Charlie had a football game tonight that he's coaching, so he will hopefully join us in a little bit. Um, but that gives me a chance to kind of shine and go over some of the stuff I want to talk about on my own and get you guys some opinions from you guys on stuff. So, as you guys know, I don't normally buy much sealed product, but I've been going kind of nuts lately on the Halloween cards. I can't help it. They're just too cool. They're the slime, basketball slime parallels. Uh, the basketball set is weird because it has one of the parallels is what they call orange, but it just looks like it doesn't really look very Halloween like. It looks more, I don't know, like a tablecloth is kind of how I refer to it. But, anyway, I did really well on my basketball stuff. I got a, hollow foil webs parallel Stephen Curry. I think the last sale was like $120 on that card, which is crazy considering the whole big pack of cards. Here, I got a pack right here. They come from Costco, and this is what they look like. They're called Haunted Hoops. So it's basically the Hoops brand in these Halloween type parallels. The basketball one does have a base set too, so they're just white like this. I pulled 3, 4 Wembies out of it. I did get a slime parallel Wemby. The slimes are the toughest ones to get. I pulled a candy corn out of. I've opened 2 packs so far. I've got a third one there to open. But I've just been loving them. They're great. Today I picked up some Pokemon. Let's see what that pack looks like. So they've done Pokemon for the past few years. And this year's just came out. This is what they look like this year. So another pretty good deal from Costco. You get 120 packs, which is crazy. 120 packs and it's like 35 bucks or something. Now the rest there's still packs in this. Those are all going to be giveaways at the goat show. So kids that come to the goat show this weekend, or excuse me, not this weekend, so September 8th, so a couple weeks at Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay are going to get either a let's see if I got the other ones. They're going to either get one of the Score a Treat football packs, which are pretty cool, and you can get numbered parallels in there. You got a shot at that. Pretty neat. Let's see. I've got some of those cards are have parallels too. So there's a bats one where it's green border with a bunch of bats on it, and then the pumpkins, which are orange with pumpkins on it. I don't know why they didn't just do that for basketball instead of the tablecloth thing, but anyway, so each kid is going to get either a Pokemon pack or a football pack. So we're pretty excited to be able to do that. Hopefully, that'll get a lot of kids out to the show. Um, yeah, 2 weeks away. We're 2 weeks away from our very first promoted card show with me and Charlie, JC3 Cards and Collectibles. Our wives have been huge support in this, handling table bookings and questions and emails and all that kind of stuff. Took a little video yesterday, driving around, showing everybody where to go, how to get in, things like that. And response has been great. Went to a couple shows this past weekend just to hand out flyers, talk to some dealers. Pretty good excitement around the show. So I'm hoping that carries right into the start of it. We are about a little over 3/4 booked, which is great for a first show, very first show. Happy about that. And then with 2 weeks to go, as a matter of fact, there was a message on my phone right before I started the show tonight of somebody who wants a table. So we're in that kind of crunch time here where we're only 2 weeks away now, and I suspect we'll get quite a few table requests in those 2 weeks and hopefully fill it up. But anyway, back to the ripping. I love these Halloween products. They're so inexpensive. The cards are super thin and easy to ship. You can ship a stack of these together. Um, and even the base cards have, like, some cool Halloween design to them. Like, you can see there's some slime dripping off the top there. It's like a green fog on the bottom. There's a little spider web over here in front of the team logo, and I just think they're cool as hell. And, so yeah, if you can pick some of those up, I think they're great. I would assume they're printed pretty high, but it's not like there's gonna be a bunch of breakers out there ripping it or people buying cases of them for the most part. So I think a lot of them are just gonna sit in packs for a while, or they're gonna be bought and used for their intended purpose, which is to hand out to kids for Halloween. I've done that with the Pokemon the past few years, so I was excited to see some sports cards come out, and that's what I'm doing with them at our show. We're gonna be handing them out to kids. I think every kid that goes to a show should get something fun, and not necessarily have to spend money. So that was part of our motivation. We did, uh, um, maybe I shouldn't tell you that yet. Okay, so there's one other thing about the show, but I'm not going to tell you that yet because we're still working on that. I think we pretty much nailed it down today, but I'm not going to announce it yet. Anyway, so we're looking forward to that. 2 weeks, Riverside Ballroom, Green Bay, Wisconsin, from 9 to 2. It's on a Sunday, but there's no Packer game. Packers play on a Friday night in Brazil. So nowhere near where it would interrupt our show, or our show would interrupt the game, however you want to put it. So kind of a perfect weekend to come out and do that. Free admission, free parking, lots of food, full bar, plenty of bathrooms, easy in and out, good lighting, lots of tables, 88 tables, if we fill them all. So yeah, hope to see everybody out there. If you're looking for a table, you can message myself, or I can throw the contact information on here later too, or Charlie can do that. Charlie's kind of the tech guy. So let me put the banner on the bottom here. I should probably make a banner for the card show. That would make sense. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, if you need information about the show, we have a Facebook page, um, called The Goat Show, and you'll see our logo, the goat logo on there. It's pretty obvious. And we'll get you set up if you want a table or you just want some more information about the show, um, or whatever. All right. I see we've got 14 watching, which is awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I did kind of put a announcement out in the Discord tonight that I'd probably be by myself for a while, and I'd appreciate some company. So I appreciate all of you joining me. So I'm not just talking to myself. It's weird when you do a show with two people for so long and then you go to do it yourself. It's there's quite a juxtapose there from my normal weekly prep to get this done. So wax. Um, I'm excited about. Oh, look at that! Look who's joined us already. Awesome. Um, welcome, Charlie.
Thank you.
We're talking. Well, I'm talking. No one else is talking. Just me. Uh,
Stu is
but
probably talking.
I'm talking rip and wax. I ripped some of the Halloween Pokemon today.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was letting everybody know that I put a good chunk of them aside, and we're gonna give those out at the show too, so,
Show ya.
honored to announce that. Get your kids there so you can get your free packs. But I love the Halloween products. They're so affordable. There's some parallels in them. Have you seen the Pokemon ones this year?
I have not actually. Kids
The
haven't gotten any yet. Dad
the
was too busy
parallels are
buying football, and the kids didn't have
right,
any
right.
themselves.
Um, the Costco version is a ridiculously good value. It's like 33 bucks, but you get 120 packs.
But then I would have to buy a Costco membership.
You would. That's accurate. I have
That
one,
takes
so it
the
worked out.
value away.
It worked out. And that's how you get the basketball. The basketball's only Costco.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, as far as I know. But the basketball one's a good deal too because it's 80 packs, I think, which the football is like 40 or something.
I want to say, yeah, 42 or
40.
something like that.
So you
Yeah.
get twice that for the basketball, and it was 29.99. So I just bought another pack today. I had so much fun ripping it. I pulled that pretty rare Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So I'm way in the black. Like that was worth like that's worth like 5 packs.
Nice.
of like five boxes, 5 sets of packs.
Yep.
Um, so I was like, I'm gonna buy another one. Why not? And the Wembies. I mean, I got one of the slime parallels. The tough parallel in it, besides the hollows, obviously, is the slime. So basketball is different. It's got a regular white base card, and then it's got this what they call orange, Halloween orange, but it's like a tablecloth looking border. It's kind of weird. And then the green is this slime, which I think is the best one. It looks very Ghostbusters like because it's
I like
purple
the
and green.
spider webs I saw on some
The
of the
spider,
designs.
yeah, the spider
Yeah.
webs are the hollows. You'll generally get like 2 of those per box. And then the candy corn is kind of like 1 per box. So they're easier to hit than the football, but they're not serial numbered either.
Okay.
So I opened 2 basketball. In the first pack, I got 2 spider webs and a candy corn. In the second one, I just got 2 spider webs. But one of those spider webs was Steph Curry. So, I mean, I'm not complaining by any measure.
Has
But yeah,
anybody got
they're
a
dope.
stupid numbered card out of the football ones yet?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen them on eBay and stuff, but no, I haven't
Yeah.
pulled any. I've opened 6 packs of them and I haven't gotten any. I wonder if because you can get them at Sam's Club. I wonder, and that's a bigger pack. I wonder if it's the Sam's Club packs are the only ones you can get the numbered cards out of.
Oh.
I don't think it states that because if you look on the wrapper for the football, I believe it does say. Well, here I got a football pack right here. I believe it does say you can get. Yeah, it does say or Rising Stars Trick or Treats numbered to 99 or Base Trick or Treat. That's what they call the candy one.
Okay.
It's Trick or Treat, I guess. Although everyone listed on eBay as candy, so that's kind of interesting. Um, yeah, so they do, even on just the regular Walmart pack, it does state on there that those are an insert. But yeah, I haven't pulled any. So but the other thing I did today so we were talking about wax, and I don't like wax, and I generally don't buy wax. I'll play around with a little bit here or there. I like my
Yeah.
big league a couple times a year. I'll buy a box. I'll usually buy something at the National. Those Jay and Silent Bob Garbage Pail Kids couldn't pass that up, especially when they dropped the price and then later raised the price, which was really
Right.
weird. But um, I got them at the big dropped price of a grand $29, so you can't beat that. But I did order some composite football tonight.
Oh,
The
did
Fanatics.
you?
Yeah, the Fanatics exclusive box.
So how much was that?
So the hobby is 289,
Okay.
which I think is a little better than I thought it was going to be. But you get 3 autos.
Yeah.
So that's pretty solid. It is unlicensed. The I think what the better deal is in what I ordered, because I'm not counting on the autos being very good. And they're non-licensed. I don't know how long they would really hold up, but the 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 blaster boxes are 29 bucks, which I think is pretty good for now.
Okay.
But you get 6 blaster box exclusive parallel inserts. I think that's decent value for that. You should be able to pop $4 or $5 a piece out of those if you get any decent players.
So are they
So,
are they
uh,
up now? I thought it was like the 30th it was coming out.
so the hobby boxes are a drop enlistment, so you have to sign up for the drop and you have to put in all your credit card information, how many boxes you want, and all that. And then if you get picked in the drop, so basically it's a lottery, I'm assuming.
Oh.
If you get picked, it charges your card. They email you and tell you, hey, you're picked. This stuff's shipping out to you. Um, the Fanatics blaster boxes are order. You can just go on and order.
Okay.
So that's what I did. So I think that's my box ripping for the entire century now. I don't
How did it
normally
feel?
open that much. Pretty decent. I was happy with the Pokemon because I wanted to get some to set aside to give out at the show.
Yeah.
So when I saw it was a 120 pack box, I'm like, oh hell yeah, that's a heck of a value. And I think I put them on the drawer already, unfortunately, because I already got them all listed. but the foils are awesome. The whole border is a foil and it's cosmic. So
Okay.
it's got that like Cosmos. So it's got that like planetary type um, foil pattern to it. They're freaking awesome. So to me, that's the best Pokemon release they've done yet as far as Halloween, just the Halloween packs.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about it. I like to get a little bit of Pokemon in the store here and there. I don't do much of that now. However, I do believe that once I hit my 60,000, that's going to change because my plan is to do a second store for sure now. I've already got one going. I've got 800, 900 positive feedback on there, and it wouldn't be hard for me to do two. You just simply log into each one. It doesn't change my SKU system because I just SKU to whichever store I'm shipping in. You're still pulling from the bags, so I don't have to change. I don't have to like have two inventory systems or anything like that.
Right.
And it'll allow me to put stuff on that I don't put on in my main store. Some more gaming cards and things like that. That's the goal. So I figure I better, have a little bit of Pokemon here and there and get some feel for that. Pokemon has just gotten so big. I went to the distillery show this past weekend, and I
Yeah.
would say it was probably half Pokemon dealers, which is crazy because we never really had very many Pokemon dealers set up. Well, look at our show. We have a lot of tables booked by Pokemon dealers.
Yeah.
So I feel like why leave that off the table? If that's something that I can add in and make some more money on. So that's where we're going. That's where we're heading.
Yeah.
And you can add anything in either store. I mean, the argument is, well, you'd be competing against yourself, but you'd have to have the same exact cards in each store, and I don't really think that that's going to happen too much. Um, if I have quantity of something in one store, well, I'll just add to the quantity of it, and I won't put it in the other store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not as complicated as it sounds. And then I want to continue to build up the buysportscards.com. That's going to be my less than eBay price type stuff. I'm going to continue to build that there is the plan. So that's where I'm at because I'm at 40, almost 48,500. So
Okay.
I'm creeping there. I've had really good sales days for like the last 6 days, and then today was just crap. I think I sold
Yeah.
like
I noticed today was really down too.
yeah, I sold like 28 cards, and I didn't have very many multi-card orders, and I don't know, it just happens.
I did see lots of browsers. Like every time I logged in, there were double digits for offers I could send, just not a lot of
Mhm,
buyers.
same. Yeah. I okay, so I have a theory on this too, and you guys are all gonna think I'm nuts, but I think this so eBay runs their own servers, right? So think of it like gaming, right? If you're doing gaming, you're jumping on a server and you get to do whatever's on that server at that time, right?
Yeah,
I think eBay's kinda like that too, and I think sometimes you're just on a server where people aren't finding you, and you just don't get as many sales.
that could
So
be.
that kinda helps my theory of multiple stores is not necessarily a bad thing. You might be able to make up the difference in the other one. I'll look at people are pretty good in the Discord about posting, their sales and things like that, and I see like, "Oh, I sold these 6 Derek Jeter cards," and I'm like, "I've had like 20 copies of that card for 6 months in there, and I haven't sold any of them." And like,
Right.
You sold them all in one day." Like that so there's gotta be something they and I'm not saying that they did anything wrong or, whatever. I'm glad they got the sale. I'm just saying I feel like sometimes you just don't click, with the buyers in that moment. So why not take 2 shots at it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So and it won't
Although
cost me anything. It won't really cost me anything up front because I'll just run a basic store until I get the listings up, and see how it goes.
talking about sales today, now that I'm back home, I did just sell two while we were talking though. So
Oh, there you
maybe it's
go.
going to be a busy night.
Maybe it would, and I've had that too where it's quiet all day and then I sell a ton overnight, which doesn't make
Yeah.
a lot of sense either. Um,
Sold one of the
so
UK again yesterday too.
oh, nice. Yeah, so that's kind of my current state of things, focusing a lot on the card show and making sure we get everything set up there. I got my bullhorn out tonight. I got to get some new batteries for it, the megaphone,
Yeah.
just in case we need that for any particular reason. I made a video yesterday of kind of driving around to the back to show dealers where to go. I think that'll be come in handy um, for this show and future shows to kind of show them where to go. Um, hopefully as we get into show number 8 and show number 9, you don't really have to tell people where to go. It should be there, but um, anything you can do, um, to help yourself is gonna be to the benefit. So try to
Yeah.
make that day as easy as possible. That first one, but I'm super looking forward to it now that it's getting really close. And um, I did tell them we might have one more announcement for the show, but I wasn't ready to say anything yet. So I kind of just threw I didn't an unintentional teaser. I started talking and then I was like, I'm gonna wait on that. It's nothing ginormous, but I think it's important, and I think it really puts the show in a special light. It shows
Yeah, absolutely.
what we're really trying to do here. So, how was your football game, sir?
Football was good. So we got the W.
Nice.
So we
Well, you
are
said you guys
2
are
and
really good,
0.
eh?
Huh?
You said you
What'd
guys
you
are
say?
pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we won 42-0 tonight against a
Jeez.
Kakana team that I thought would put up a better fight. And we won last week 46-6. So we are rolling right now.
Yeah.
Varsity won their first game pretty lopsided as well. So the program's doing well.
It's that indoor field, man. It's a
It
game
does help.
changer.
We used it one day last week when we had
Mhm.
the heat
The rain.
warnings and stuff. So we had a day where we went inside and worked on the indoor turf field and got our work in. It's a nice luxury to have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think more schools will aspire to have that sort of thing if they can get people to pony up the money for it, of course. But yeah, my daughter just started school this week, and it's basically an entirely different school. They basically doubled the size of it, so it's
Oh,
crazy
really?
going in there now. Yeah, it's not done yet. They're working like once school shuts down for the day, then they're kind of going back in there, and um, to build an entire school over a summer is pretty difficult. So
Yeah.
they're not there, but they have all the classrooms are functioning, all the security stuff's in, all the stuff that matters is all in place. Um, and they're just doing a lot of interior. So there's no ceilings anywhere in there because that's where everything runs, right? So they're still working, making sure all the wiring stuff gets pulled through and all the plumbing
Okay.
and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very interesting. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I've got my oldest is adjusting to high school life for the first time.
How's that going?
Mhm. Seems to be going okay so far. Like no
Yeah, that's
real
good.
shock to the system or anything. He's taking it in stride.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, and that it's kind of funny because for those of you with kids, you'll get this, but for those of you without kids, each year feels like a new set of battles, right?
Yeah.
So like you got to get that first weekend to sort of see what you're gonna potentially be facing for the year. My teacher this or my class that or this student this or that student that. Um, and yeah, we've been fortunate. I she's been School's great. Everything's good. Nothing. Bus is good. She's in 4th grade now. So she gets to sit towards the back of the bus. She's allowed to do that now. You know how that
Yeah.
hierarchy kind of goes. So because it's only a K through 5th grade school, so she's almost to the top of the hill. So she's enjoying that part. So all right, should we start on some chat? We're starting to pile up here a little bit.
Yeah. What do people got to say
I did.
tonight?
I did thank everyone. I did put a post in the Discord, hey, please join me tonight because might be on my own for a bit, and I don't want to look like an idiot talking to myself. So I appreciate anybody who's here live. Of those, of course, of you who are watching recorded, thank you as well. And hopefully next time you can join us live. We do this every Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Myself and possibly Charlie for the next couple months. And
I
of course,
saw I saw earlier today. I saw a little coaching. What do you call the Facebook shorts? Whatever they call them. I can't think of what. They're not
Reels.
shorts. Yeah, reels.
Reels. Yeah.
And it was the Luke Skywalker at the end of the Jedi, Return of the Jedi, where he's just everyone's celebrating, and he turns around and he looks off into the distance, and it said, "Me looking at my wife one more time because football season is here." And I was like,
The
"Yeah,
last. The
that's
last.
kind of how it goes sometimes."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody has their things, So, but replacement Stu stood in, did his job tonight, so we kicked it off just fine. I think we'll be okay most weeks. If you have to punch in a few minutes late, not a big deal.
Well, moving forward now will be Monday night games. It's just wonky schedule at the beginning of the year because of Labor Day and stuff.
Oh, okay. What about practices though? You don't do anything. Well, I suppose you're
Those are
done
done
by.
by 5:15, 5:30.
Mhm. Okay, well that's not too bad then.
Yeah.
All right, Troy is joined us. Thank you so much, Troy, for being here. Appreciate you. Good evening. Um, Mr. Lofi Joe, he says good evening. Good evening to you as well. Art Green is here. Good evening, Cooter and the chat. See, he was here pre-Charlie, so he didn't
Yeah.
say anything about Charlie. He wasn't specifically leaving Charlie out. Davis is here. Hey, I started selling uh on what I think he
Whatnot.
means whatnot. At last Monday, I sold over $1,500. Why is that compared to eBay? Well, it's two totally different things. Yeah, the positive side to whatnot is it's a bigger sell through rate. It should be anyway, because basically you're just putting these things up for a few seconds, they get a bid and they're gone. But you're not getting the same amount of money. It's kind of like auctioning your cards on eBay. It's basically the same thing. You're just doing it live and on demand. So if you get a big audience, you can sell a lot of your cards comparatively to eBay prices at much quicker. So you can, make income as long as you can keep getting product. You can
Yeah.
make your income a lot faster.
So it sounds like you're
So that's the big.
saying you can do more volume on Whatnot, but typically your final price point is a little lower than what you can do on eBay.
Right. Yeah, I can easily get $3 to $4 for this Shack card on eBay, and I'd be pressed to try to get over $1 for it on Whatnot. So, and what you want to try to do is get multiple card sales again. So you have those buyers that are coming to your Whatnot. However, you got to do it. Make sure they're buying multiple cards. They'll save on shipping, and you'll get, you should get bigger sales then too. That's the theory anyway. All right. Joe says, good evening, Adam, aka Cooter. Good evening, Joe. Charlie and Stu back in the house. Good evening. He came in right before you did, so perfect. Charlie, how was the game? We kind of talked about that.
Stu's
Are
still
those
struggling. We got to get him some go-go juice.
Yeah, he needs some batteries, as we say around here. Batteries. Joe has a question on the Halloween cards. Are they up and running on CDP? I don't know. I don't have the scanner right now, so I just listed them by hand.
Last I checked, maybe 2 days ago, they were still not.
Yeah.
So that's a really good question that I've been thinking about. We need to send Alex a message. A registry of sets loaded that's easily accessible would be really nice. Because I have not seen that. They post out what they've added new all the time, but before I scan a card in, it would make sense if I could just look at the registry and say, oh, that set's not in there. I'm not going to waste a scan on it. But of course, that's what they want you to do.
Mm. Right. Especially if you have a lot of cards in that set.
Yeah,
If you're scanning
yeah,
one card, it's probably not that big a deal. You just zap it because I do that too
right.
at times. You're right. It's pretty much unavoidable, but there's even some too where I scan it in and the picture just looks weird and doesn't want to get the right set and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't feel like dealing with this. Delete it. I just want to get my batch
yep,
done, and I'll take that card later and decide if I want to scan it again or just list it by hand. I don't want to. The point is to not waste time
yeah,
um, in there, and you should have. If you don't have enough scans to throw one away here or there, you probably need to up your plan a little bit.
yeah.
So, how's your August sales going? It was pretty good up until like today.
Today,
Like I
yeah,
said, wasn't actually today for dollars. It wasn't too bad because I sold cards that were a little bit higher dollar, but number of cards is not good today.
I
And
mean,
full
month over
transparency,
month,
I'm not gonna just come out.
yeah, month
I'm
over
sorry, go ahead.
month, I'm up pretty nicely. Like my net sales minus you know, net of taxes and selling costs is up 92%. So month over month feels really good.
Oh, geez.
But today was not great.
Yeah, and I think that's kinda how you have to look at it. It is month by month. That's probably the most real. Um, I'm I'm actually down 7% than I was in July, but end of July pumped on a ton of stuff from the national. So a lot of the promo cards and some wild card higher dollar purchases and stuff like that that all
Yep.
sold pretty quickly. A few Caitlin Clark promos and some Skeens rookies and stuff that I wouldn't normally have listed. So I probably had $400 or $500 at least from those that I haven't had in August. I might have had a couple in August, but most of them were end of July because I
Yeah,
was
and
listing them at the show.
that's where a lot of my net sales is up so much because I had higher dollar amount items from the national, but my volume, my quantity sold is also up 12%. So it's not just the higher dollar items.
Yeah, and yeah, I think you kind of want to constantly see that trend. The number that I focus on the most, and I've sent this number to Charlie a few times. I send it to Ethan once in a while. Is my 90-day dollars. That's the one I like the most because it looks at it as in a 3 month chunk of time, which is a better measure because you should measure your business in quarters. Um, Especially a business that's cyclical like this, where certain sports sell at certain times than others and things like that, seasonally, right? Um, so I like that. So, if I'm at 28,000 for 3 months and then it's 35,000 for the next 3 months, I don't really care what happened in the little dips and spikes here and there. I know that my quarters, I'm improving as my quarters go. And if I have a big drop in a quarter, then I got to go, well, what didn't I sell that quarter? Oh, I didn't have enough basketball or I didn't have enough hockey or you know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's the one that I like. I like just on a broad scale. That's a number that I like to look at. And it stares you in the face as soon as you go to your selling tab
It
on the
does.
phone. That's the big number on the top. So so it's right there. Um and and you're right, Charlie. I just pulled up my eBay and I have 30 offers I can send right now. So it's weird. I
Yeah,
haven't gotten that many sales, but I've had
crazy.
these big chunks all day too where I can send offers. So it's like, well, why is there all the clicks but not, oh no, I just got a 10 card order. So, yeah, speak of the devil. Um yeah, so typically if you look at any reselling businesses, retails, whatever you want to call it, August is typically the worst month of the year for pretty much every reselling business. So, because it's kind of that drab month, people are focusing on getting back from vacations, starting school, doing all these things, the sports right now are kind of dead. Like I know football's starting. Obviously, that's where the big, if you're getting sales, that's generally where a lot of the numbers are going to come from. And baseball's starting to kind of become clearer of who's
Yep.
doing what, but um, there isn't really anything in the playoffs yet, or there wasn't a
Playoffs.
champion now, right? Wasn't a champion that was just crowned in anything. It's a little bit of a lully time, and I think a lot of people just spend less right now because they're going to be gearing up to start doing Christmas shopping, and once I feel like once Halloween really gets in people's heads, like, oh, it's close to Halloween, that's when everything really starts taking off. Because it just feels like, oh, the holidays are here. Oh crap, it's gonna be Halloween soon. I gotta start my Christmas shopping, and I gotta
Right.
start, um football's in full swing, all these things that, start to sort of ramp up retail. All right, I'm just sending some offers quick since I had 38 out there to send. I might as well get them out there right away. Um, all right, Troy says sorting my collection. I bought about 1,100 cards, no base, for 165. Football, baseball, hockey, and basketball. Sounds like a good deal. Hopefully, there's some good players in there. I never mind base cards if they're good players, because I sell 1992 Pro Set Brett Favre cards all day long.
Yeah.
For decent money. So I have no problems if I can get them for a nickel to 15 cents, 20 cents. That's a no-brainer for me. But Aeneas Williams 92 Pro Set, I don't know that I'd want a big stack of those. Remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him.
Yeah. He played for the Packers for like 3 games or something.
Was he cornerback or safety?
Yeah.
Uh,
Ooh, you got me there.
I want to
One of
say
those two.
cornerback.
I don't remember which one. I want to say cornerback too.
Yeah.
Joe says my store today was 0 sales. Wow, yeah, thank God I didn't have 0. Guessing people are going away for the Memorial Day weekend. Oh, that's true too. I did forget it's kind of a holiday coming up. So I shouldn't say kind of. It is a holiday coming up. No offense to anyone on that poor statement there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? I think I screwed up before and I said Labor Day.
it is Labor Day because Memorial Day is
Yeah.
in May.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it's Labor Day. But I knew what he meant. Yeah, and you could be right. I don't know if that's like a big travel, if Labor Day is like a big travel holiday or not. I mean, Mondays, no school and all that. So I guess long weekend wise. Um, yeah, I don't know. I run into that once in a while. I'll have one day where it's like, oh, this was my best sales day of the month. And then the next day it's like, a blip on the radar. So
Yeah.
that's why I almost feel like multiple stores isn't a bad play. So the further I get into it and the bigger the numbers are, because now I have bigger numbers, of course, more listings and things, bigger samples to look at. Um, yeah. I should tell you this. Um, in my other store, I I sell other items over there on
Mhm.
occasion. That's why I already have an account and I have feedback and stuff. I accidentally listed some cards in Card Dealer Pro under that login. Um, Yeah, because I was on it and, you just copy the CSV and you upload it to eBay. Well, I forgot I was
Yeah.
logged into my other eBay account. I'm like, screw it. I'll leave those cards in there and see how they do. I sold one within like 40 minutes.
Really?
I only have like 50 total cards on there. It was a 1985 Richard Dent card, I think it was.
Huh?
Um, and it sold like right away. And I'm like, I could have put that in my other store and it could have sat there for months,
Yeah.
you
You never
know?
know.
Never know. So, and that account isn't even really set up well. I don't have all my, logo stuff in there. I don't have all that stuff. Um, but I feel like I could operate as the dollar box on both of them too, because my eBay account that I have, my main one that I have now is not the dollar box. That's not my username. So why couldn't I be the dollar box under another username as well and
Right.
just run too as the dollar box? So you can run them parallel to each other and still be the same identity. I can make a business card. Well, it would be a different URL link, to the store, but I can make a card with that URL link on it, and yeah, it's really not that complicated. All right. Johnny says, "Evening guys, your Jeter cards may have been priced higher than the ones that sold. I see you pulled your last YouTube video down pretty fast." Yeah, you're right. Could have been the picture, could have been the dollar amount, it could have been it was promoted above mine. Yeah, of course there's factors in it. I get that. Um, but what other factors are included in it that you don't see? Which server is eBay pairing me with? Which buyers? Which um I don't know. So it feels like there's a lot of variables in there we can control and a lot of variables we can't control for those sales. And Charlie said that too. He's like, I had a whole bunch of Jeter cards listed and none of them sold, and you sell them
Yeah.
like crazy. So I don't know. I think I think if you can, however you can grow, it's going to have value to you. And if you choose to do it with an additional store, listing on another platform, selling live, doing, all those things, those are all going to be things that are going to help your bottom line. There really isn't a negative side to it. Yeah, I pulled my other YouTube video down. It didn't quite reach the impact I was trying to get it to reach. So I decided I didn't want to have it on there anymore. But if you watched it, thanks for watching it. Appreciate you.
I actually
Any
watched it
thoughts?
this week, Adam.
Did you? Go figure. Anything? I all I want to say about it is I think it got misconstrued, the message I was trying to portray, and I didn't want to. That's not what I wanted it to show, so I figured it was best if I just took it down. I can redo something with it later on. So, Lofi Joe, any thoughts on the eBay email to sellers about the updated cancellation policy? So I did glance over that a little bit. I don't feel like
Yeah.
I don't really feel like it's going to do anything to me. So
I didn't
I don't
either when I
really
read
care.
it.
Yeah, it's not. I hardly get any cancellations, and if somebody asks to cancel, I just grant it to them. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Um, Usually, if it's a single listing, eBay's like, "Well, we'll cancel it, and we'll just relist it for you for free." Great.
Hmm.
I don't have to do anything. If it's a quantity listing, it's kind of a pain in the butt because I got to go and add the card back in. But outside of that, nah. And like I said, I don't get very many of them. I have a lot of sale. Well, you guys see, I have stacks and stacks of cards of sales, and maybe I get one a month or something like that. And it's usually something small. Sometimes too, it's like it's legit. Sometimes it's, oh, my kid used my phone. Okay, I get that one, but probably isn't real. But sometimes I get from somebody that bought and they were like, oh, I thought I needed the blue parallel and I actually need the purple parallel. Can I cancel this one? Yeah, I'm not gonna make him buy the stupid blue card if that's not what he needs.
Right.
So just forget it. I mean, I've made a mistake when I've bought something on eBay before too. Like, oh, I didn't see this was not mint or something. I really want a mint one. This is for my PC, whatever. Just as long as they message me and they're like, hey, this doesn't work out, or oh, I was gonna buy this card and then I found out my girlfriend already bought one for me, whatever. Just sure, that's fine. I'll cancel it for you. It's one of those things where I try not to create a mountain out of a molehill. As far as customer service goes, just try to get the customer what will satisfy them as quick as possible and move
Right.
on, because it's such a small piece of what we do. If they're trying to scam you or something, that's a little different. But if it's just, hey, can you just cancel this? You're not out anything. You didn't send them the card. You didn't, cancel it, relist it, move on. You get a nice fresh new listing out of it. How about that?
Mhm.
I've even had it too where I cancel it, it gets relisted, and then it sells again in like an hour or that same day. So you could even just find another buyer right away. But I also don't sell cards that are like hot and in the moment and then people buy it and then the player wrecks his ankle and boom, now they want to cancel. Like, I don't run into that stuff. So it probably matters a little bit on what cards you're selling. But low end stuff, Yeah, they don't want that Bo Jackson card. I don't really care. Charlie and Adam, this is from Andrew. Charlie and Adam, do you list every numbered sports card you have, or do you not list lower end players that are numbered? And how do you handle them? Yes, anything serial numbered I list, absolutely. The What I'm finding more and more is the players that shouldn't really be listed on eBay are kind of the perfect ones to list on eBay. Because you have these buyers looking for these cards and no one's listing them because they're too cheap.
Right.
So what you want to do is you need to list them for a price where it makes sense to list it on eBay, but then have a good discount for multiple card purchases. Um, so I had for example, I had a buyer just buy 32 cards from me yesterday, all Packer cards. And he bought like a 1990 Topps Keith Woodside, 1992 Topps Tim Harris, some Antonio Freeman cards. Like those cards really have no business being listed for $1.99 on eBay. Um, but because he could get them in a quantity deal, and basically bring them down to $1, that made a lot of sense. So it makes sense for me. That's a great sale for me to ship out. But it also makes sense for me to then list those cards. But you have to be broad enough, I think, to get those sales. I think that's where the challenge comes in. If you're a new person and you have 100 listings, you're probably not going to be able to list a Keith Woodside 1990 Topps card because
Right.
the odds of somebody coming in and just buying that card are very, very slim, especially at a price that would make sense for you to make any money. So you really need, like I have, you know, 20,000 different Packer cards. Like he bought a couple 1980 Topps cards. I sold a
Brent
Perry
Fullwood.
remember Perry Kemp? I sold a Perry Kemp
Yeah,
card
I remember Perry
in
Camp.
there. And then there's a couple like from the early 80s, like 82, Paul Kaufman. Was it Paul Kaufman? Yeah, Paul Kaufman. Like just a bunch of these random, Packer cards. There were some good ones in there too. Like there was a driver card, there's a couple Favre cards. Ones that you would definitely list. But I just really like. I think adding variety separates you out. So go look at Here's something. Here's homework for all of you. Okay, I'm going to assign homework. We're back in school now, kids. So get ready for your homework. Go look at, and quickly, because I don't know when they're going to be taken down, but go look at Burbank's sales history and look at what cards they've sold. They sell some weird crap. And they're doing like 99-cent free shipping, right? So they're selling like Keith Woodside type cards. And they sell a ton of that stuff because they list everything. And if you're going in, looking at, you want all the low end StarQuest football inserts, right? From that upper deck set. And you need like Jamal Charles and, all these random players that most people don't list. You can go to Burbank and they have like the whole freaking set on there and you just buy the ones you need and you're done. Do you know what a huge advantage that is? Like, and they probably got them for nothing.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to list your Jamal Charles. Maybe that's a bad example because they're inserts. Let's say this is a base card, from 1998 upper deck. You're probably not going to list your base Jamal Charles card. Wouldn't make a lot of sense. But if you have 4 million listings, it might make sense because somebody can come in and get like all the stuff that they need at one time. Or a good chunk of it anyway. Set builders or team collectors. What I found has grown the most for me in this first year of being full time is team buying. I have a ton of people that come in and it's like 40 card sale and it's all Bills cards. Lately, I've had a buyer who's buying a bunch of Mariner stuff. So I've been trying to get as much Ichiro and Ken Griffey and Edgar Martinez and like all those guys, Randy Johnson, and pumping those on there. And he'll buy like 35 Seattle Mariners cards from me at a time, you know? So, maybe Jay Buhner, right? Jay Buhner cards, maybe I wouldn't be listing those on, you remember Jay Buhner? Maybe
Yeah.
I wouldn't list those on eBay normally, but right now I would, because I got somebody coming in and just kind of cleaning up on whatever Seattle Mariners stuff I put in there. So if I can get a Jay Buhner card, out of my 2-cent, monster box buys, I'll put those on there because I'll probably get a buyer for them at $1.
Right.
which is pretty solid to me. Yeah, you still pay your back end fee, which is 12% minus 10% for me with top rated plus. Um, Now the other thought is, well, why don't you just lot all these up in teams and sell them as team lots? I don't want to do that because you don't have there isn't a buyer who just wants all those cards either. And to me, that actually takes more time. Like I have to, team collate all this stuff, and I have to you still have to list all the cards that are in it. And you got to take pictures of them all. Like, dude, just list each card, let the person come through and pick out the 20 Seattle Mariner cards they want and ship them out. That's like I sell lots, but I don't make them in lots. Does that make sense? I sell hand collated, created lots by my customer. My customer gets to make the lot. I think there's a lot of value in that. So that's my take on that one. But I have 48,000 listings. What you have to you can't do a lot of that. You're going to need to list Otani stuff and Judge stuff and Jeter stuff, and you're going to need to list all those players to get your sales, up front, and then you can start adding all that other stuff in.
Right.
Because I don't have to bust my ass and get Jeter. I have 1,800 Jeter listings right now. I can list Edgar Martinez cards. So. All right, where did I go? I jumped all the way forward here. Chris Longball is here. I think this is your first time here. Welcome to the show. He says, enjoy the content. Thank you so much. Am I right? He's new, right? I'm really bad at this, guys. I apologize, but
Boy, I
I stink
feel
at
like
names, and most of
that
you I
name
can.
rings a bell to me.
Dang it, Charlie! Now you're gonna have me feeling bad here.
I could be wrong though.
Well, how about this? Welcome or welcome back.
There you go.
Right? See, we're covered then. Here's Dan. So this is funny, right? You guys make me chuckle. Charlie and
Dang
Dan.
it, Dan! This is supposed to be our
Evening
secret.
all. See, everybody loves their wild card. Imagine, all of a sudden, it's all about the wild card. Wild card comes out with a new box tomorrow of 8 autos. One of them will be a 101, and there are Farv autos and dual QB Farv autos, along with a huge player list. Yeah, I think. Did we get an email on that from the?
I didn't see one. No.
I thought I got something. I might have got it directly from Daniel, because Daniel will send me emails on his own. Where it comes from his email anyway. I don't know if it's has a preferred customer list or just people he knows personally or whatever, but I think I got an email from him. But anyway, yeah, I did hear that this was coming up, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think they drop at 7 p.m. Usually their drops are 7 p.m. But it's going to be a little bit spendy, so I don't think they'll be gone in 10 minutes or anything. But I wouldn't wait an hour. Wildcard stuff sells, people. They make cool
Especially
cards.
if I'm around.
Don't they, Charlie and Dan? Charlie and Dan are biggest wildcard supporters now. Joe says Labor Day. Yeah, he knows what's up. I knew what he meant. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think a lot of people mix up Memorial Day and Labor Day because they're kind of
They're the
they don't
bookends of summer, right?
Yeah, it's always a Monday, that long weekend off type of holiday as most people see it. They are for definitely two different things. But they're not a holiday like, oh, we give these presents out or we decorate this way or they aren't those types of holidays for most people. So I think it's kind of easy to confuse which one's which. My kids start next Wednesday. Wow, they start kind of late. Yeah, my daughter started on Monday. So I think did yours start on Monday too? No,
Yep,
they started
Monday.
last week, right? Oh, yeah.
No, it was Monday.
Because you guys get time off for draft, right? You guys are close for draft. Yeah, so I'm in a different area. I almost said where I am. I don't want to tell you where my daughter's school is, but we do not. We're not close for the draft. So We don't have that additional week off or whatever it is. Joe's having the same problem. 25 offers and 0 sales. Yeah, it's super weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't have 0 sales. I had like 20 some sales, which, you guys are probably like, "Well, that's fine. What's wrong with it?" But that's really small from compared to what I normally have. And like I said, a lot of them are single cards. They're a lot of them are better cards. Not $1.99 cards. So at least, income wise, it isn't terrible for today. But I just sold a bunch of score a treat cards. The football
Yep.
Halloween ones. But I sold a Sports Illustrated Jim Brown card for $8. I sold a Brett Favre Totally Certified Thanksgiving card for $5. Tops Allen and Ginter Johannes Gutenberg, one of those historical figure cards for $2.99. A Finest Jerry Rice Plaxico Burris Inherent Fire insert for 4. So it's been, like decent dollars type stuff, but yeah, not a lot. Quantity wise, not good. Dystopian Playgrounds, Labor Day, yep. We've got it now. Average Dave's is here. The closer we get to the election might make sales and the economy a little wonky too. It's
Maybe.
possible. It's possible. I think people are just kind of over the politics. I don't think they feel like it just and we do not want to get political on this channel at all. That is not our goal. But I think most people feel like, no matter what happens, it's not going to flip the world upside down. So just do what I do. Dystopian says, what percentage of your card sales are singles and how often are you doing lots? Kind of answered this question just through random conversation, but I don't do lots at all. I find them just to be annoying and, I skew everything in a bag, so I'd have to bag those separately, and I just don't do them. I let my customers create their lots. Um, my single card sales is not very many anymore. I sell mostly multiple card sales, especially with coupons. Um, so let's say I have 50 sales in a day. I bet 35 of them are at least 35 of them are multi-card sales, 2 or more cards. And probably 8 or 10 of those are like 10 to or more cards. So, so I sell lots, but I don't make lots. That's what I was trying to explain
What?
earlier. I know, I know. I know. I think most of you get what I'm saying, and if you don't, sorry. That's the best I can do for you. So how about you, Charlie? Charlie, I'm gonna let you take the wheel here for a second. I gotta go grab something to drink. I'll be right back.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Got to get your tang. So I don't prep lots for sale very often. I will do them sporadically for specific reasons. Um, Most notably, like right now, if you look at my story, you'll probably find like a 6 or 8 card lot of the Dark Crystal cards. Why? Because I had them out for singles for a while, wasn't getting a lot of interest on them. So then I said, okay, let's put them in a lot just to move them. I've done that with some miscuts. That I'll put, 8 to 10 miscuts in a lot together and auction those off just to move them. Just typically things that I've had listed as singles for a while and I haven't gotten much interest in. So then I'll lot them out and put them on auction just to move that inventory, make room for something else. Well, I don't have the space concerns in my eBay listings that Adam does. I do still have space concerns in my physical inventory. So I do like to keep cards moving so I don't have to expand into another section of my room to keep my inventory cards. So that's usually where I use lots. I don't have as many multi-card orders as Adam, although they continue to grow. So I would say my percentage of singles listed is, gosh, probably 99% I list singles. And then my sales are probably still 90% singles and 10% multi-card orders. So that takes a while to grow though. Like you can't have 400 cards listed and have every order be multi-cards. So I'm a little over 8,000 now. They continue to grow as I get more cards out there. I see more multi-card sales, and then it depends on what kind of promotion you're running too. So I've got 30% off on 4 or more, I think. So I'm not as aggressively running a promo as some others. But I mean, last night I had a baker's dozen order. I do get a lot of like three, 4 card orders that are just right around there. I don't understand the people that order one short of the coupon. They clearly didn't notice there's a coupon.
Right.
Because I'm at a point now where I would like to think, gosh, I have 8,000 cards. I'm sure you could have found one more card you would have liked to get that discount, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of what my sales look like. I focus on singles, and I only go to the lots when I have a bunch of cards that just haven't gotten a lot of interest, and I'll try a different tactic to move them out, just to clear them out.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, how we talked a while ago about what type of seller do you want to be? Do you want to be the lowest priced guy? Do you want to be, um, somebody who sells at comps but offers free shipping and better customer service? And,
Mm-hmm.
you have to kind of decide what you want to do with that. If you want to be a lot seller, then be a lot seller. There's plenty of them out there that do pretty well. I'm just looking for this player that was just posted on here because I thought I had just gotten a card of him. Anyway, um, yeah, if you want more multi-card orders, you got to figure out a way to do it. Yeah, either sell them as multi-cards, lots, or find a way to get people to buy additional cards.
Yeah.
That's how that's going to happen.
Or, another example, sometimes you end up with some random cards. Like I've got these, this 19, what year is the first Batman, Adam? 1989. So I've got
89.
these, yeah,
Hmm.
I've got these 5
Michael Keaton, baby.
original Batman series cards. But really only the one with the nice portrait of Batman. These other ones, I always got to remember to go backwards. These other ones are just like action scenes
I
and
do that
stuff.
too.
I'll probably list this single, and then I'll just lot these out for someone trying to complete the set or something. Auction it out. If I get $2 for it on an auction, I'm happy. I move
Yeah.
that inventory out. So
And that's a good point because I will do that. I did that a lot with like Simpsons cards because I wanted the sticker cards and the main character cards. I've done that with Ninja Turtles cards. So things where it's going to be like scene from a movie or scene from a show or, a cartoon or whatever, those do make some more sense to lot up
yeah,
because it would be a pretty random one card purchase. However, now that, and part of that was because we couldn't use Card Dealer Pro for it.
yeah,
So I didn't want to sit there and list each one. Now I did some Ninja Turtles um, on this last time that I had the scanner, and I just scanned them all in. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna list all these individually and see how they do. I sold a whole bunch of them individually at $1.99 a piece, and I paid like 2 cents for them. So
yeah,
if you've got the room and you've got a quick way to get them listed, you can. I've said this before, and I think a lot of people would agree with me and have also said it. You can literally sell any card. So if you want to sell it as a single, you can do that. It might take you a while to find a buyer. You might not get a huge price for it, but you'll probably sell it. Uh, if you want to sell cards in a lot, you'll probably sell the lot to somebody. Are so liquid these days. There's so many things moving around that I think you can do it. If you have a bunch
yeah,
of Dick Tracy cards you want to list individually, go for it. But you might list 50 individual Dick Tracy cards and sell one every 3 months. So it might take you 20 years to do it. But you probably sell them. You probably would. So I say the older the cards are, the more you should sell them as individual cards.
Okay.
Because I think vintage lots is a huge mistake. You leave way too much money on the table because there's so many people looking for individual cards from vintage stuff that you can get a premium on a especially if you got a nice copy. If it's there's such a variation in condition and vintage. If you got a nice crispy copy that's centered, I'd list that sucker on its own. You don't want to throw it in, have it get lost in a lot. Um, and you're giving up some premium you could charge for that card.
I agree with that.
So that's the biggest one. I would never take like if I have a stack of 1958 baseball tops baseball, there's no way in heck I would sell that as a lot. I would list every single one of those cards. You can sell commons for a few bucks.
Yep.
All right. Normally you can tell when people ask stupid questions about a $3 card. Yeah, normally you can. Yeah, I would agree. Um, I don't get that's one of the things that I don't see that often. I don't get a lot of questions on cards. Do you? I generally just get sales or offers or send
I
offers. That's
mean,
about it. I don't get a ton.
what's a lot? I guess once a
Yeah.
month I might get a couple questions or
Mhm.
one particular buyer that's chatty and wants to ask
Right.
things back and forth. It's normally it's do you have any more from this set that you don't have
Mhm.
listed yet? They're looking for that inside track, single seller, get me a bunch of what I need. Now I will message buyers. So, for example, the Panini Score a Treat cards, I had someone buy every one of the orange base JJ McCarthy as soon as I listed them. Well, the next day I listed the green bats parallels. So you better believe
Mhm.
I messaged that buyer right away and said, "Hey, just want to let you know I listed 4 more JJ McCarthy's in the green bats parallel." And of course they responded, "I'll take them."
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Yeah, you create your own sales. Um yeah, I have two chatters. One, it's just somebody looking for some clarification on a card. Like I had a Donruss red foil parallel Bo Jackson that I just listed, but I did it through the scanner and the red didn't really pick up very well.
Sure. Yeah.
So the customer just messaged me and he's like, "Are you sure it doesn't really look red in the picture? Are you sure it's the red one?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's definitely the red one." And he bought it and we're good. And then I have this occasional customer who is like so nervous about the shipping, right? They buy it and like 3 hours later they're like, "Are you gonna ship this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll ship it by tomorrow." Well, it's 10 a.m. and it hasn't shipped yet. I still don't have tracking. You, do you ever get that?
I don't
So
get that.
I get the
Um,
shipping freak. It's not very often. I'm talking like one in 10,000 orders, but
yeah.
uh yeah, I get that once in a while and I'm like, dude, you need to chill. First of all, it's like a $3 card, like relax. Um But generally, most of that used to come up a lot more before standard envelope and before buyers understood how to do the tracking. Because when standard envelope first came out, everybody took that tracking number and they put it in USPS.com, which, as we all know, it doesn't work. They'd be like, "Oh, this is a fake tracking number, or your tracking doesn't work," or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, you have to go to eBay and track it there. But most of that has been quelled now with USPS tracking has improved. Standard and delivery envelope has improved. And then again, customers I think are just aware. So once it says, it notifies them, "Hey, your item is shipped. Here's your tracking." They know that they can look at it in eBay if they need to see where it is or if it's been
Probably the
delivered.
most common message I get from buyers, and this it's not like I get this every day, but a few times a month I get it, is when USPS updates the tracking to delivered when they just stage it for the route carrier, and then I get the
Yep.
message that says, "Hey, this show's delivered, but I'm letting you know I didn't receive it yet." And then I just
Yep.
have a stock reply that I give them. Please give it 2 days. They often, update the tracking before it gets delivered, and it's just staged for the route carrier. And 99% of the buyers are like, "Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me
Yep.
know." And then they let me know when it actually gets delivered.
Honestly, most buyers just want communication. They just
Yeah.
don't want you
Mhm.
leaving them in the dark. They wanna know that if something happens, you can try to figure it out.
Yep.
So just reply to them and say, "Oh, yeah." Don't just ignore it and go, "Oh, this guy. I mean, of course it says delivered and it hasn't been out yet." Don't do that. You don't know if
Yeah.
that's a new customer. You don't know if that's somebody who's never bought a card on eBay before and used standard and delivery. But I think for the most part, even customers, because I've even gotten that as with cards I've bought where it's like out for delivery and then it doesn't get
Yeah.
delivered. I don't freak out. I'm like, meh, probably on the truck tomorrow.
Yep.
Um, that just kind of cues me in to look for it in the next day or two. If I don't get it in 2 days, then I'm like, what's going on here? Maybe this didn't work out. But
Right.
yeah, I don't even get that very often anymore. I very rarely have to do any customer service anymore. It's amazing.
Hmm.
And my sales keep going up and up and up. You'd think you'd have more customer service. It's more handling the offers and sending offers and, you know,
Yeah.
listing and shipping. Those are obviously,
Don't forget shipping
the
and listing.
yeah, precisely. But outside of that, like I don't get pinged all day long for stuff. And now that I kind of have a general offer that I send, I can send, 40 or 50 of them at a time or whatever's necessary. I was doing them one by one. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's been months since I've been able to do that.
I can't believe you
Which
were doing that. I mean, I, gosh, I want to say 3 months into this, I was like, all right, I'm gonna pool my offers.
well, I'll tell you why I didn't do it. Well, and I told you why I didn't do it. I really wanted to see what people were looking at because I was still trying to build out, what players can I buy and what cards are being looked at, um because it's kind of a definition of your page views in a way. If they looked at it, that's when you can send them an offer. So I was doing that more as like a research tool, but I don't really need to do that anymore. I know what I can and can't do. And honestly, I can buy any card now and list it, and I can probably get a buyer at some point because I've built out far enough that the weirder the stuff is that I list, almost the better in some ways. Average Dave says team buyers are fun. I got a guy that buys a ton of Phillies from me. Yeah, I have those consistent buyers who come back and buy certain teams. I got a Broncos buyer. I've got a Ravens buyer. A huge Mariners buyer. Um, Yankees, of course. Packers, lots of Packers buyers. Um, yeah, so you just get regulars, just like players. I have a guy who just consistently buys big lots of Jeter from me. I have another buyer who buys tons of Favre. And still building out a Favre collection. I have buyers that buy a bunch of Brady stuff, or did. Brady stuff has slowed down quite a bit for me.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he, out of sight, out of mind. To some
Yeah.
degree. I haven't been buying as much Brady either, so I'm not flipping out as much new stuff either. So you can be your own devil in some of that stuff. If you don't
Yeah.
buy anything and list anything, you're probably not going to get sales. You can't sell what you don't list.
So I've heard somebody say that before.
Yeah, I'm going to put that thing on a bumper sticker, and y'all are going to have one. Joe says, "Does everyone like this live stream? If so, hit that." I think that's a thumb, right? Not a middle finger. Okay,
Yep.
just making
Thumbs
sure. Good
up.
thing good thing I got my glasses on. Hit that like button. 19 watching and only one like. Yeah, please. Definitely helps us out. Support for the channel keeps us going and makes us want to do more videos and keep the lives going. We're all taking time out of our busy lives, including all of you participating in the chats. We appreciate you. Thumbs up helps keep that going for sure. Go Cubs. Go Cubs. Can you see my Cubs?
Boo.
Go Cubs. Go Cubs.
Boo.
That was from 2016 when they won the World Series. Do you have any sketch drawings of Brewers World Series victories,
Not yet.
Charlie? No? Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Well, keep holding out hope. Just leave a blank space on the wall, for
That's
40 or
what I'm
50 more
doing.
years and
Yeah.
okay. Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, we used to say that about the Packers when we were kids too. in our
We did.
lifetime will we
Yeah,
ever see the
and
Packers win a championship.
they were terrible for a lot of years. You know what's funny is before I became a member of the Packer band, my dad has been a member of the Packer band for, I don't know, 40 years or something. And back in those like early 80s days, like the Lynn Dickey days and stuff, they would give him season tickets. So we would go to the games for free. It's crazy,
Yeah,
isn't
they
it?
had
I think
plenty.
of that now.
They were
Yeah, I
filling the
know.
seats.
You
Speaking of
you
that, I
could
did go to the
still,
game Saturday. I had a good time.
yeah, it looked like you guys did. So yeah,
I
last
actually,
preseason was the last
yeah,
preseason
so
game.
they do this thing now. They send you an email and they're like, pick yourself out of the crowd. I'll have to look for that while you're talking about the next
Oh,
topic.
interesting.
You never saw that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they take 3D panoramic pictures, and then if you
Sure.
know where you're sitting, you can find yourself pretty quickly.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then you can get it printed or whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah, they can overcharge you for it is essentially what they're gaming.
Of course, or you can
Yeah.
just take a screenshot and print it yourself.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Save it as
that would be
your background.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do that because that would be dishonest or whatever.
Well, it's intellectual property theft is what that is.
Right.
Because it's
Oh, here
not
we
your
go. I
photograph.
found it.
But if
I'll
you're
have
not
to.
producing it and you're not selling it, there's really no harm, no foul. Technically, you could tell them you didn't grant permission for your likeness, but I'm pretty sure that's disclosed on the tickets to the game that they can take
That
pictures of you, and too bad for you.
that could be. That could be. You can actually tag yourself in the stadium too, and people are actually doing it. I don't know if I would do that.
Nope. Nope, I wouldn't do that.
Especially if I was supposed to be working.
Right. On a Sunday?
It was Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Well, there we are. I found us. You can. Oh, I gotta share this. Because you can tell. Here, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Let's see. Share screen. There we go. Window. Boom. Boom. There we are. So, here we are. There's me.
Look at all those good-looking Green Bayites.
Yes. Look at. Do any of us look happy at that moment? That's the thing that cracks me up. So it was like 100 degrees with the humidity. It felt like 100 degrees. We had to go out into the tunnels a few times to cool off. We actually left at the end of the third quarter because the kids were like, "We can't take this anymore." Because we were in the south end zone. So at this time of year, we're just baking in the heat. Oh, I'm sorry, we're in the north end zone. We're baking in the heat. And then this guy here was a Ravens fan, and he was shouting all game, "Put Lamar Jackson in." And I turned around to him and I said, "Yeah, because that's what you want. Lamar Jackson out for the year in a meaningless preseason game."
Right. Hey, he can't even ride a bike, dude.
Right? So it is kind of cool that you can just go out there and find your picture or whatever. Like, this guy
yeah, it's not creepy at all.
This guy's got an outstanding warrant, so I got to turn this in to Brown County.
Right. Yeah, it's not creepy at all for everyone to have instant photos of you.
I don't know if anybody's not seen inside of Lambeau Field, but it's pretty nice. Look at all those people that tag themselves. Every Packers G is somebody who tagged themselves in this.
Wow.
So when Adam and I were kids, it was just this bowl.
Yeah.
Just this lower bowl.
And there was only like 10 of us there to watch the game.
Yeah. And then they added these club seats on each side. Then they closed in the ends.
The boxes. Yep.
And then they created these upper deck seats for like a ticket lottery. So if you don't know, to get season tickets to a game in these seats, you basically have to get on a list when you're born because it's like 30 some years long now. But they added these upper decks in, and they do like a lottery every year for, I think, just Brown County, isn't it?
It's for you have to be in the tax-paying district for the Packer tax.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe it's just Brown County is basically what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never sat up there, but
Mm-hmm.
my take, especially now with the big video boards and stuff, there's not a bad seat in Lambeau
No,
anymore.
no,
Yeah.
Lambeau's actually pretty good field. Yeah,
Yeah.
the seats leave something to be desired, but outside of that, most football stadiums the seating sucks, so they
Yeah.
fit right in with that.
So when Adam was a kid working
So,
on the field, he'd be right down here.
um, nope, other end, right there,
Other
where
end?
where you got your pointer now. Yep, I was on
Right
that
here?
end right there.
All right.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
We're like right around the 15, somewhere between the 10 and 15-yard line generally.
Okay. All
So
right.
in that
Nice.
right co in that, corner of the end zone there was where I went up to Broderick Thomas. Do you remember Broderick Thomas
Yeah.
for the, Buccaneers? He was warming up in that corner, so like an idiot, because I would come through that tunnel. Well, the tunnel's moved now, but where the
Yeah.
tunnel
No, it's
was,
over
that's
here.
where I came. Yeah, that's where I came through with the equipment, and I brought it over there. So I was coming through. I can't remember what I went and got. It
Well,
was
the
something
tunnels used
smaller.
to be right in the middle, right? Like
Yeah.
right in the middle
Yep.
there.
Yep. So I would come right through the middle and then go right through that corner. And he was warming up in that corner, and I was bringing like towels or some kind of small equipment through. And I just I went up to him like this, and I, you know, got my arms down and I went, "Ah!" like this. And the dude got like 3 inches from my face, and he is like black. Like I couldn't even see his face. He's very, very
Yeah.
dark skinned, and he had his helmet on and everything. So all I could see was like his eyes, and he just comes up and he like right back at me, and I
Like
almost
Bruce
wet
Smith and Little
myself.
Giants, teaching him about
Yeah, yeah, kind
intimidation.
of. Kind of. And, there wasn't it was pretty early, it was, like, 2.5 hours before the game, so the stands weren't packed or anything, but there's definitely people up in the seats already, and they were just laughing, and yeah, it was pretty cool. So I have some pretty good memories from those couple of years that I did that. Alright, enough of the Packers. Keith says, "Evening, fellas. Hope all are well." We
What
are.
up?
Thank you, Keith. Hope you are well as well. Charlie, you're like this today. I received and ripped 3 blasters of 24 WWE Prism.
Nice.
Did
Oh,
you get anything
yeah,
good?
all the little pukesters looking for the Hogan cards. What you need is some Macho Madness. Yeah.
Do they still make Macho Man cards? He's been dead for like 10
Oh,
years
heck
now.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh,
I just sold one
okay.
last week.
Nice. Also, for anybody selling baseball, get Dylan Cruz cards. This was the one I was talking about where I was looking through my baseball. Um, get Dylan Cruz cards up. He hit a homer tonight. Good for him. Uh, Oh, we haven't seen this guy in a while. Red Light 34. I remember him. Hello
Yeah.
everyone. Welcome back. I think it's been a few weeks since you've been here. Appreciate you stopping by. Joe says, "Hey guys, when you list vintage cards, how do you determine the grade? Example, if the card has rounded corners and a small crease, do you list S? Uh
Very
oh,
good
here.
or poor.
Do you list as very good or poor?" Okay. So they've done a much better job on eBay now of kind of explaining what they feel like those grades up mean. So when you list it, before you click on, the condition box, read it pretty closely. So basically, near mint means just that. I mean, it looks like it kind of came out of a pack, doesn't have any marks on it, corners are decent. Not super mint, not PSA 10 necessarily, but pretty darn good shape. Then the very good is like light wear, things that are noticeable. So you might have, a little bit of a soft corner. You might have, a printing dot on it. You might have uh, a little scratch on it somewhere, something like that. Something where it does look like you can see it, but it doesn't really take away too far from the card. So that's excellent. And then you go to very good, and that would be more wear. So instead of just one fuzzy corner, maybe it has a fuzzy corner and a scratch. Or it's got a fuzzy corner and another corner has, some corners get like a crease in it. um, has that curl to it, I guess, or dog ear, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
That would be you're very good, but still overall decent quality, no big creases, nothing like that. Maybe it has a little tiny minor crease on one side, something like that would be your very good. And then your poor is basically everything else. That's how I do it. And
Yeah.
I never have anybody come back and say, "Oh, this wasn't right," or "That was, this grade wasn't good." Once in a great while, I'll have somebody say, "Oh, I didn't really see the little crease in the bottom corner. Can I return this or whatever?" So that is the risk of listing raw vintage. What's excellent to you is maybe not to someone else. But I think eBay does a good job now describing what their position is on each type of condition. And as
Yeah.
long as you kind of stick to their verbiage, fits in their verbiage, you should be good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, what I've got up here is this is the link right within your listing to look at their definitions of it: near mint, excellent, very good, or poor. They do this little example card on the side, so they'll call it out. So here, near mint, comparable to a fresh pack. Flaws may include minor corner and edge wear. And then they give you this little corner to look at as, okay, here's some minor edge wear. Okay.
Mhm.
And then excellent, they're going to say, okay, might have some moderate surface scuffing, some fuzzy corners, moderate edge chipping. And again, they'll give you some examples on that to look at. So you can see this corner, it's a little white, a little rounded there. Over here on this side, some moderate surface scuffing. And then what else? Got some more scuffs there, I think. So I think they do a pretty good job of defining what they look for in their listings. Very good. Then they add in some moderate discoloration. So down here in the corner, you see a lot of white on that corner where the blue is worn off. And then, as Adam was saying, poor, heavily worn and rounded corners, major border wear. So it's just 90% of what I list, if not more, I end up going near mint or better because it's a lot of it out of packs. But then when I'm shopping for cards and value boxes, I'm looking for things in good condition as well. Unless it's vintage, then I'll go a little more outside the box with that, because as Adam has said over and over again, condition is not quite as important in vintage sales if you're selling at a lower price, right? So a lot of people look for some poorer quality vintage cards because it's the only way they can afford that card, right?
Mhm.
So the vintage stuff I will get some excellent and very good out there, just depending on how bad those corners are typically, or if there's any staining on it, any major creasing. It's pretty rare that I have anything that I put all the way into poor. What
No,
about
I'm
you,
I'm
Adam? You got anything in
yeah,
poor?
tons. I've had cards that look like they literally went through a washing machine and they sell. I've had cards that are all folded up. I've had cards where they draw on the face, draw a beard on the face and put a pipe coming out. You can sell anything, put it out there. Vintage. That's vintage though. I'm not
Yeah.
talking like a modern card. But yeah, if I have it, I'll list it and I'll list it at a discount from, a better condition copy, and that should do it. Now, what I will say is the most important thing in your listing to show condition is your photographs. Take good pictures of the card. If you have one copy of a card that's in mint and another copy of a card that has fuzzy corners, don't list them together in one quantity listing. List them each individually because they're two different cards, based on that condition. So be as honest as you can about it. If there is like a big crease in it, you might even want to just point that out. Pick poor condition, but also say, Chris, crease right through the nameplate, or you know top corner is missing. I've sold cards where a little corner is cut off. You can sell those cards, but you just want to make sure that the customer has a pretty good vision of what you're selling. The scanner will pick those up pretty well in the vintage. That's one of the things I really wanted to go to the scanner for, because I feel like it shows that stuff better than just taking a photograph does. But customers need to be discerning too. They need to go look at the photos of your card. Is this the actual card? Yes, this is the actual card. Okay. Zoom, eBay has good features for zooming in, moving around to the corners and the edges. You can flip it over and see the back. Um, as long as you uploaded a back photo, obviously. But
Yeah.
have good pictures, and try to match your condition description as best you can with that, and you shouldn't really have any problems.
Here's an example of one vintage card I have listed from '79. So if we look at this card here, there are a couple things. There's the little, fisheye or printing flaw, whatever you want to call it. You can see just a little softness on this corner down here. Um, Everything else pretty good. On this side, there's a little spot there. If we look at the back side, that looks pretty good. I don't really see anything standing out in the image. Maybe a little bit of marking there, but it's not a marked checklist by any means. So I listed this as excellent, because I don't see anything that really deters from the overall presentation of the card. When I look at the eBay, descriptions, to me, there's some minor things for a '79 baseball card. I think that's an excellent listing. If these corners were a little softer, and you can even see a little bit of discoloration there, the pink, those bright colors are always hard to keep in perfect condition, right? Or those black backgrounds. Whew. But if those corners were, if I had more than just this one corner that was a problem, then I'd probably start thinking about very good. But the other corners are in really good shape, so that's kind of how I go about it. It's not just any kind of quality issue, but also the quantity of issues you can find.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, just do the best you can. Try to be, like I said, as honest as you can with it, and you should be good to go. Don't not list something because it's not mint. That's foolish. There's things you can sell that are not mint.
Yeah. A lot of my vintage, though, I kind of start with an excellent condition. I just figured the wear and tear they've had over the years. Now, an exception is I picked up a 1979 Topps football rack pack I won recently in a contest, and I opened that myself, pack fresh. I listed that as near mint.
Hmm. Well, if it's near mint, list it near mint. Like,
Yeah,
shouldn't
yeah,
matter if it's vintage or not. The argument, you could also make an argument on that card you just showed that it's in excellent condition because it's way off centered.
true.
Some people would say that, that's an issue with the card because it's not where it's supposed to be. So,
Right.
you know. All right, where are we at? Right here, Dan. My favorite message was a person interested in my $30 card messages me, says $10. Deal. I never responded to that. Uh yeah, I get those once in a while. And you know what I'll do is I'll say I'll reply, because those are actually kind of cool messages to get, because there's literally a send an offer button at the top of the message on that card. So I'll say nope, but I'd do $20, and then I'll hit the send an offer button, and I'll put $20, or or whatever price you want to give them, and
Yeah.
I'll send it back to him. Now the ball's in his court, and now we've got something on the table, because they didn't technically send you an offer; they just sent you a message. So I like to try to do that and see if I can hook that fish. But yeah, I wouldn't sell a $30 card at $10 either. That's kind of crazy. Hey Keith, get anything cool out of the WWE? There were some cool cards, inserts, but quality control was a big issue. Weird for Panini. I don't know. Can't imagine. I'm so glad they're going away. Composite football. Yes. It begins. So it begins. I didn't order any of the Topps Chrome basketball though, and I won't be. Other than the Wemby auto, the price is just way too high for that stuff for
Yeah.
non-licensed, and basically just one big rookie. Yeah, he says lots of roller marks, scratches. Yeah, their quality control is just not very good. I think I heard something about the QC being trash, and that sucks. Yeah, they've had issues with that for years with Prism and excuse me. Optic is pretty good, but I've had cards from Select with big dents on them. I've had cards from Mosaic will have quality issues. Um, printed way off, cut off. There's no way in 2025, 2020, what year are we in? 2024.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way in 2024 that they shouldn't be able to get over those issues, but it's not going to matter for much longer. I think because Panini's losing the WWE license too, right? I was trying to think of this the other day. Is that going to
I
Fanatics as
didn't hear
well?
anything about that. That's a good point.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if you're going to be kind of stuck with Panini for that stuff still, but I don't know. Guess
And
we'll
are
see.
they still going to have soccer?
Well, Panini doesn't really have soccer. Well,
Oh, you're right. It's Topps.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, technically they each have some licensing. That one's a weird one.
Of course it is.
Well, to be honest with you, most of the U.S. sports could learn a lot from the soccer leagues and the things that they do well too. They've kind of left it up to like, okay, we'll let you guys just sort of bid on the sets, and then they just give it to whoever they can make money off of, which is kind of
Sure.
smart. So like when World Cup comes along, Panini has the rights to that. So that's why you have World Cup Prism cards, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then you have like Premier League and Champions League. Well, Topps bids on that, and then so they make the cards for those. So it's not. I said no, but it's kind of yes. They kind of both have some rights, and of course, Topps makes the better products, so they generally will go with Topps for most of the products. But I think Panini threw a ton of money at like the World Cup products. So they let them make the World Cup stuff, or I shouldn't say let them. They took money and had them make those products. But will they be doing that in the future? I don't know. Speaking of soccer, and we kind of got off track a little bit earlier, but did you know there's a new soccer bar in Green Bay?
No.
Yeah. So I'm going to see on what the heck day is that? I don't know. It's one day, mid September. I'm going to go see the Arsenal play Manchester City. Because my buddy Brad, his favorite team is Arsenal, and my favorite team is Manchester City. So I'm going to throw the scarf on and the. I don't have the full kit, but I've got the shirt, and we're going to head out to the soccer ball bar and watch some soccer. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah, they just opened, I think, last week actually, or 2 weeks ago. So it'll be fun because you can't really go anywhere to watch soccer in Green Bay. It's not really a thing. And then it's so hard to get games on streaming, just like every sport is now, because there's like these games are on this streaming, these games are on this streaming. And there isn't really like a Premier League pass kind of thing. Like there's the NFL pass or MLB, they don't really have one for soccer. And other than like for a specific league. Well, what if you want to watch a World Cup game? What if you want to watch an interleague game? What if you want to watch there's a lot of games that you're never going to be able to see unless you have like all the different services. So anyway, long story short, long story longer. I'm going to the soccer bar and I'm pretty pumped about that.
What's it called?
Oh, you stink. I don't remember.
Footies?
No. Green Bay Soccer Pub. Hold on. Let's see. It's called Casuals.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard a thing about this.
Casuals. It's on Main Street.
Okay.
It's replacing a business called Sliced that was on Main.
I'm not familiar with that.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna have foosball tables, TVs, of course. Um, yeah, we want to be ready for Premier League, which is what I'd be going to watch. So they're gonna have MLS games, Series A, any of the important tournaments, so like your La Ligas, your Copa Cups, your
Yep.
World Cups, all that stuff. They're going to have Serie A, Bundesliga, Spanish La Liga, Liga MX, which is the Mexican league, Argentina, and Brazil, as well as, of course, Premier League and Champions League. They're going to do watch parties for local soccer teams. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. All those years I played soccer and we tried to find a bar, we got stuck in like football bar, like American football bars and stuff to go to. It's kind of fun to have a soccer theme bar. I don't know how long it'll last, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna take advantage of it, while it's here. Keith says yes, WWE is losing that license, or Panini, I should say, is losing that license. Next year, it's up. Okay, that's kind of what I thought was happening, but I don't know. It's hard to keep track of everything. Max is here. He said, I'd imagine the WWE is close given their huge setup at Fanatics Fest. Yeah, that's kind of what made me think of it because they definitely had a presence there. And I believe Fanatics does like their belts and like all this other replica
They
type
do,
stuff
yeah.
in that. Fanatics does that. So you would assume that they would go after the trading cards. That would make most sense. Dave says Panini will lose the WWE license. I think the actual date, though, is still up to the courts. Well, I know basketball is next year, and then football, I think, is the year after, right? Football had one additional year to it,
I think so, yeah.
their contract. Excuse me. Sorry if that was in the mic. I tried to turn away. Um, but yeah, like actually licensed basketball will be next year. Obviously, we're going to get some football and basketball products before then. And, like I said, soccer doesn't really get interrupted because unless it's a World Cup, they don't really lose the product. Tops generally gets the products. They do the Bundesliga stuff um, but so if WWE leaves, I mean, basically everything's going to Fanatics, right? Because, you know, and I'm assuming at some point they'll push to get exclusivity for all the soccer stuff too.
Probably. I mean,
That'd be
that's
my
the way
thought.
it's going.
I would think that would maybe be the one thing that Panini would fight for because they're located in Italy. And it kind of makes sense for them to fight for soccer rights to do stuff. Um, Now, what's interesting with Panini is they lose the rights to do the trading cards, but not to do the stickers. So they can still do
Okay.
all the stickers. So I think they're kind of, I think to some degree they had a limit on what they would pay for those because for those rights because they could at least still do the stickers, which they've made basically their entire business has been built by selling those sticker products over 100 years or whatever. So I think they feel like, okay, well, we'll have to shut down those presses and we can't be involved in the cards, but we still have the sticker thing going on, which the
Right.
stickers are bigger in Europe than the cards are. So
I'll take your word for that.
yeah. uh Hey, hope is not lost. My first sale tonight, 2007 Fleer Ultra Frank Thomas, 2.25. Nice. I like it. Frank Thomas is a pretty decent seller for me too, so I'm happy
The
about that.
big hurt.
The big hurt. Yes. Yeah, sales have kind of picked up for me now too. I've had like 8 or 10 since we started the show. I just sold another One-Eyed Willie. Sorry, Charlie.
Jeez.
Couple John Morants. I sold a Joe Milton the third, a Drake May, couple more Favres. So yeah, you just need to catch that fire at some point, and you'll get some sales. Especially if you sent a bunch of offers out. Like I just sent out like 38 offers, within the last hour here
Yep.
as they were coming in. You should get some bites out of those. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't do those individually anymore. It's so nice now. Go in like I just go in, every hour or two, and I'm like, oh, I got a bunch of offers I can send. Boom, 10%. I attach a coupon to it. Done. Pretty simple. And I pretty much always get some bites out of them throughout the day, so it's totally worth it to send.
Yep. I would agree.
But yeah, just do it as a bulk, especially if you're kind of giving the same percent off on everyone you're sending anyway. I'll just do them in a bulk. You could wait like days and just do them all at one time, but I think that doesn't that impression end in like 24 hours though? So like you have to send them an offer within 24 hours or it goes away. I believe that's how it
Yeah, I
works.
think you're right.
So you probably want to do it at least once a day if you're planning on sending offers, because otherwise the um that appearance on that page disappears. All right, how are base Hall of Fame cards selling? GNC wants to know. So, for what sport? Baseball, football, hockey, soccer. I think it's a little bit different for each one. I'd say football Hall of Famers do better for me than anything else, but I carry more football, I should say. So I'm going to sell more football. You can only sell what you list, right, Charlie?
That's right.
So baseball for me is a little bit hit or miss, pun intended. Um, I sell a lot of Derek Jeter. I sell a fair amount of Cal Ripken Jr. Griffey has been doing really well for me lately, but I bought a ton of Griffey when I was at the National. So I added a lot of Griffey. Nice Griffey stuff too. Um, Ichiro sells pretty well for me.
Ichiro.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's got to be in the Hall of Fame,
He
isn't he?
is, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't follow that stuff, and then I say the name, and I'm like, crap, is he even in? I can't imagine he wouldn't be, but Cal Ripken Jr. stuff does pretty well for me. Bonds, McGuire, all those guys. Some of those are a little bit hit or miss because they're obviously not in the Hall of Fame. They're Hall of Fame players that will never be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, it hasn't changed a whole lot. If anything, I'd say it probably has slowed down a little bit on some of those guys. But the Griffey one's been hot, but it's hard for me to measure it to some degree because I got these couple guys that keep coming in and buying all my Mariners stuff. So Griffey just sort of lands in that cage, right? So I don't know that, those additional sales are necessarily just because of Griffey or because of the team he played for. So, um, yeah, I don't know. That's what I tend to stick with baseball. I don't do a ton of prospecting. It's not the sport I carry the most cards of. I'm probably not the best one to ask. Charlie's probably gonna have a better answer for you. Oh, Ichiro's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's what he says. I thought he
He will.
was.
He will. Even if he isn't, he will be. I can't imagine he
You're
wouldn't
right.
be.
He's in the Seattle Mariners Hall of Fame.
Sure. Sure. Do you have to be out of baseball for a period of time to get in the Hall?
I think all of them have that kind of requirement, but I thought it was only like 3 to 5 years for most leagues.
That's what I thought too. 5 years generally. You want to answer the question since you do more baseball than I do?
Yeah, I mean, my sales are typically peppered with Hall of Famers, but not really isolated to, like you said, you sell a lot more football Hall of Famers. I mean, in the last 48 hours, I sold a basketball Hall of Famer. I did sell a baseball Hall of Famer in Reggie Jackson. I sold a rap Hall of Famer in Biz Markie.
Nice. Nice.
Let's wrestling Hall of Famer and Hulk Hogan, a football Hall of Famer and Marshall Falk. Um,
You're cheating. You're actually pulling these up. You're supposed to do them all through your brain.
yeah, at this point of the year, I don't have much brain left. It's
Actually,
it's all absorbed by 580, 880, hook, spot,
Set Hut. Set Hut.
alpha. Yeah. Hunt. I saw.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another football Hall of Famer, Tony Baselli. So I mean, Hall of Famers all over the place, but I wouldn't say the baseball ones
Omaha. Omaha.
are overrepresented in my sales. There, I mean, there's a Roger Maris. There's another baseball one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably sell. I kind of thought I forgot about that, but I probably sell more of like the really old guys. Like I sell a ton of Mantle. I bought a whole bunch of Mantle this past weekend.
Yeah,
Out of a quarter and dollar box that I plan to list. But I sell a lot of those. I sell a lot of Babe
Ripken.
Ruth. Yeah, Babe Ruth. Gehrig.
I sold a bunch of
So
F1 Hall of
modern
Famers
cards,
recently.
but older players. I sell a
Yeah.
lot of that. Hannes Wagner, I'll pretty much, as long as they're cheap, out of cheap boxes, I'll pretty much buy any Hannes Wagner. The name is just so big in cards, that you'll get buyers for them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're saying five years to get in the hall, which is
Yeah, I
what
think that's right.
yeah.
I'm really surprised about Ichiro. I thought he was in.
I always question myself because there's always players I think are in and they're not, which is crazy.
But then at other times, it's like, I can't believe that person is in.
Yeah. Like Harold Baines. Like Harold Baines isn't and Ichiro isn't? Come on. But
right?
I think Harold Baines was on the ballot for like 15 years or something too, wasn't he? You can keep rolling over if you don't get in. And you need to catch 1 week year and you got a good shot, right?
I think there's a certain number of years, though, where you do get taken off the ballot. See, I made a mistake. I was just checking some of my listings. I put Hall of Famer on Ichiro for a Topps Fire card I listed the other day. Now I got to take that out.
Nah, you don't. Who cares? He's in the Hall of Fame for Seattle.
He's in my Hall of Fame.
There you go. That's fine. Keith says, so far as product design, what do y'all see higher sales on as far as the base, like base rookie stars? I know Adam has mentioned Topps Fire, for example, as a good set. I don't know. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is to look at certain sets. There's certain sets that just sell. Kind of doesn't even matter who the player is to some degree. But yeah, Fire, since you mentioned it, we'll talk about that one. Topps Fire is one of my favorite sets of all time. And I kind of keep things simple, right? When I'm looking at buying stuff. If I'm flipping through the box and the card makes me stop and pay attention to it, I'm pretty confident that it's going to stop and make someone else pay attention to it.
Right.
And I just sort of go off of that. If the price seems right and it's a cool card or a card I haven't seen before or it's weird, that Murderer's Row poster card, do you know which card I'm talking about?
I think so.
One of my favorite all-time cards, and I'll find them in quarter boxes all the time. I'm like, you people are insane. This card is amazing. So it's got the New York sky. It's kind of designed after the Godfather poster. Okay, so it's got like the New York skyline and like a shadow on the bottom, and then it's got Ruth and is it Gehrig?
I think so.
Who's the other Murderer's Row? Ruth and Gehrig, I think, are the two on the top. So it's kind of got them in like, a little heavenly photo of each of them on the top, and it just says Murderer's Row, and it's about those 30s Yankees. Pull up a picture of the card, if you would. But that card is amazing. Like it makes me stop every time I see it. If it's in a quarter box, I'm buying that thing. Why wouldn't I? And I've sold a ton of them for way more than a quarter. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is to just go, hey, this is a really well designed card. And then as far as like 90s stuff go, you just or I guess even current for that matter, you just look for premium products, right? So a base, 95 Fleer card maybe isn't too great, but a Fleer Flare card where it's, nice and thick and it's got some good foil on it, and they were 4 cards to a pack for $5, they were expensive even when they came out. Like that just that just adds a premium to it.
Yeah.
Those cards can get more money. So you buy those versus, something that was just printed to death and in every gas station. You didn't find Fleer Flare in gas stations. You had to go to the hobby shop to buy that generally. Um,
I'm not finding that card. I'm trying to find you an image of it, but
dude, what? I'll find it.
because you said it had like the New York skyline in the background
No, yeah, on the bottom of it.
on the bottom of it.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. It says Murderer's Row. Oh, geez, these stupid gold ones keep showing up.
I
Yeah.
know, that's what I'm getting.
Hate gold cards.
What do you
They
mean
sell.
you hate gold cards?
I'm with you. Well, the ones where like the whole freaking player is gold and everything, they look terrible. Here, I
Well,
found
I
an image
will
of the
say,
card.
like, the images are hard to make out sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't find the one you're
Here, I
talking
found a
about.
copy of it. And yes, it's with Garrig. Oh, it's okay. I don't need you, Charlie. I can do it. Hold on. Let me present my screen and I'll show it. Share my screen. I got to pick which one I want here. Let's do this one. It's from 2021 Topps Archives, so it's not even that old. So let me know when you can see it here.
Still loading.
Can you see it?
No, it's still loading for me.
Is it still loading?
Yeah.
There we go.
I see the Wheel of Death.
Can you see it now?
No.
Oh, I can see it.
No, I can't see it. There we go. Now it came up.
You got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that spectrum, my man.
Dude, tell your friends at
So
TDS Fiber
you
to
can
hurry
kind of
up.
see how it. I know, right? If you look on your Facebook page, you'll on their Facebook page, you'll see that you're not the only ones waiting. There's people that are
I
like,
know.
"It's been 3 years. You keep advertising. I just want to get it. Like I'm trying to get it." But you can see here, it just says Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Murderers Row, 1927 Yankees. Got the great little, I call them like heaven silhouettes. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Of
That is not
Ruth
the
and
one I
Gehrig,
thought
and
you
then
were
you got
talking about.
well, it's not the New York skyline. It's not the New York skyline. It's Yankee Stadium and that little like shaded view on the bottom there. But isn't that card amazing?
It's all right. I mean, it's Yankees.
I think that card is amazing.
It is different, which is
So
always good.
you're flipping through, a box of, Randy Johnson base cards, and this card pops up. It's gonna stab you in the face.
Yeah,
It's
it
got a
stands out.
it's got a great presentation. It has Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig on it, so it's pretty pretty clear that way that there's resale potential there. But just look of it, old Yankee Stadium on the bottom. I mean, did you see the Comiskey Park hologram I picked up this weekend?
No, I didn't.
Okay, it got posted to my Facebook. You know how we have it set up where you have the automatic shares of new listings
Yeah.
or whatever. And amazing card. Because holograms can be iffy, but this one is really, really good. Let me see. I can pull that one up too. But stuff like that, where it's old stadiums and things like that. And it's not a major company. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to share my screen on this one. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
While you do that, a little trivia. Who were all 6 members generally regarded as Murderers Row?
Oh boy. Can I answer, or are we asking
Sure,
the
you can
audience?
answer. I mean, some of them are obvious, but I asked the question because some of the names I wouldn't have been able to pull.
And this is going to be somewhat of a guess. Obviously, I know 2 of them right off the bat: Garrigan Ruth.
Correct.
So it would have been 1920s. So that should kind of help you
1927.
choose the players. Yeah. Um, so obviously not Mantle, because he wasn't even there until
Nope.
51 or
Nope.
50. So I'm gonna say Roger Maris.
Nope. He was much later.
He was after that too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not gonna get
It's
this.
a
I don't
tough
know
one,
enough.
right?
Yeah, I don't know
Everyone
enough of.
knows the phrase Murderers Row. I don't know that
Yeah,
everyone thinks about who all was in that group.
yeah, DiMaggio. That's the other one I was gonna say.
DiMaggio is not in that group. No.
Is he after that too? He's after 27, right? Because I think everybody thinks of Yankees as like the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, really.
Yeah. So I will tell you. So I consider myself a pretty good baseball fan and somewhat educated on baseball. I would not have gotten the other 4 members of Murderers Row. Their names, and maybe one of them I've heard before, but most of them, you could tell me their name and I'd be like, "Who's that?"
Hmm.
I think this is pretty tough. It is not
Uh,
Bauer. Max wants clues. Max wants clues. What? Um, let's see. So one of them is also in the Hall of Fame. He was a second baseman. Played for the Yankees, Cubs, Dodgers, and New York Giants. Another one in the Hall of Fame. Played his entire career for the Yankees. He was a center fielder.
yeah, I see the names now, and no, I wouldn't get any of these.
Right?
No,
Right? Like,
no.
shortstop was another position of the group. This player is not in the Hall of Fame. Played for the Yankees, Tigers, Cubs, Reds, and New York Giants. And the last one was an outfielder that played for the Yankees and the Reds and is also not in the Hall of Fame. So of the 4 remaining, 2 are in, 2 are not in.
We might have to kind of let this one boil for a bit and see if anybody can come up with it. But
We do have one correct answer. GNC Baseball Cards has one of the remaining 4 Murderers
yep,
Row players.
yep,
Earl
yep.
Combs
I
is
see
one
that
of
one.
them.
Yep. Yeah, the names are kind of mind blowing. Guys that you never hear anything about, but yet they were part of the murderers row, which you do hear about. It's crazy.
Yep. And Combs was
Yeah.
not a guy I was familiar with. I wouldn't have pulled his name.
No, none of those other names. Obviously, Gehrig and Ruth are the true standouts, but yeah, the other
Yep.
ones. I think Ruth was still pitching then too, wasn't he? So he
In
was pitching
27?
until like, yeah, I think he was pitching up till like 29 or 30. They still had him in the roster as pitching too. He was doing both.
I
And
know
then
he
in
pitched
20,
with the Red Sox. I
mhm.
didn't remember a lot of images of him pitching with the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Let me
So
see. I
when
could have wrong.
he transitioned from a pitcher to a power hitting outfielder, his transition was complete, Wikipedia says, when he signed with the Yankees.
Oh, okay, could be right then. Because his first wasn't his first year with the Yankees 27.
I want to
I'm not
say
very good at this stuff.
1920. He was with the Yankees 1920 and
20.
1934.
Okay, then you're right. Then yeah, he wouldn't have been pitching definitely
Yeah,
at that time. Okay.
yeah,
For some reason, it feels like his career was later than that. I think it's because when I think of like Babe Ruth's rookie card, like what we would consider his, as like 33 Gaudy and stuff.
yeah,
But really, he'd already been playing for like 10 years, you know? So anyway, do you see the Comiskey card on
yeah. I
screen there?
like that. That's sharp.
Isn't that a beaut? And when you
Yep.
move it, it's got a really nice 3D effect to it. It's very
Yeah, it's
high
like
quality and
particular.
yeah. And it's made by like Sports Marketing Graphics or something like that is the name of the
Okay.
company.
Okay.
So it is a licensed card and stuff, but that's the kind of stuff that I pick out of boxes over pretty much anything else. And I think I paid a quarter for that card. That's not my specific card on the screen. It's just an image I grabbed, but I do have one of those listed in my store now. So very, 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 very cool. Not one you come across very often. And it's the old Comiskey. People still love those old stadiums, and you can't really go wrong. I would have loved the old Yankee Stadium one. I'd have bought the hell out of that one too, but
Yeah.
um, that wasn't in there. The other thing I bought was I don't know if I have those laying around out here. The cloth patch cards. Do you remember those?
Yep.
Topps
I have
made
one or two
a
of those.
baseball cloth series. Yeah, I bought some of those this past weekend too. Don't see
Okay.
those very often. I was pretty excited about that. Yeah, Keith says too he only pitched for the Red Sox. I
Yeah.
thought the first year, but obviously if he was there in 23 it wouldn't have been 27 anyway, but
Right.
I
Right.
thought for the first year he pitched with the Yankees and then he was done because because that hitting lineup was so good, there's no reason for him to pitch.
Right.
He
Right.
just completely became a power hitter, but I guess I was wrong. He didn't pitch at all with the Yankees.
So the other name.
It seems weird though. I feel like he still would have had like a game. You know what I mean? Like he would have
Yeah.
pitched at some point, but maybe not.
Yeah. Maybe he pitched batting practice. I don't know.
Well, they used to remember he used to stop in like in between towns and stuff because they rode buses and stuff back then. They didn't fly
Yeah.
airplanes and that. And then when they'd stop in like random towns and stuff, he'd play like pickup games,
Yeah.
like on the lots with like the kids and stuff. And he would pitch for those, obviously he's
Yeah.
not, major league pitching then, but so he like still kind of screwed around with pitching, just, kind of dropped it in the major league setting.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that was probably a smart call by the Yankees. They're like, well, yeah, we don't want you to get hurt at pitching. We want you to hit the ball as far as you can. Like that, you have a
Right.
different job now. We've got pitchers. They had a pretty good pitching staff at that time too. So there was probably like, okay, we'll pay for you, but we'll pay for you with a bat, not with
Right.
the glove. So
The other
yeah.
member of Murderers Row that I do recognize the name is another Hall of Famer, second baseman, Tony Lazzari.
I've heard the name before, but I could not tell you who he is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't recognize him or anything.
So we got 2 more left. We haven't had any guesses. So I will give them away. The next is Mark Koenig, and the last is Bob Musel.
Musel sounds kind of familiar too. I might have heard that name somewhere, but
Yeah.
again, couldn't tell you who he is.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gehrig and Ruth definitely headline the bunch.
Right. And that's why they're the only two featured on the card.
Right. Well, what else we got tonight?
That was kind of all I had. I wanted to touch a little bit on, the new football product, talk a little bit about the Halloween products. I really like those, and just ripping some of that stuff and having fun with it. And just I guess everybody seems to have had taken a hit on sales today for some reason.
Yeah.
Um it kind of reminds me of that little streak we went through last year when eBay was switching all the servers over to their own, and it was like you'd go like 12 hours with nothing, not even an offer, nothing, and then all of a sudden boom, you'd have like 20 sales in 10 minutes. Um Sort of felt like that a little bit today. It seems like, and not just for me, but it seems like for others, they're kind of coming in now. So yeah, we might have just hit a spot where, there just wasn't as much activity going on in sales. I just sold a Magic Johnson Provision card and a Gremlins Gizmo Barbie card sticker where he's in the Barbie car. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I'm planning to focus on some non-sports stuff this week. I kind of tried to pump out as much football as I could. I had I wasn't intending to go to a show this past weekend. Excuse me. But I did, to promote our show mainly, and then of course, I ended up buying some stuff. So, like, I don't have enough to list. I've got some other stuff here. I started pulling some more things from the National and listing those. Shiny stuff, since I don't have the scanner right now. I'm trying to get some more of that on there. But I got a bunch of Halloween stuff I got to get on too. Um, I didn't start listing the basketball like base. I just list like the better stuff so far
Sure.
because I have another pack to open. So I'd rather open them all and then just list all the quantity at one time. So that's kind of my goal with those. But I had definitely have some football. I don't know. I just can't resist it when I run through the store and it's $20 for a nice giant pack of stuff I like to rip. Um, with decent players in it and fun parallels and stuff. I would pass the blaster box aisle 1,000 times without thinking twice, but those Halloween packs do it to me.
They hook you?
They do. And I bought the over the past few years, I bought the Pokemon ones, and I've sold them pretty well. I've sold the
Yeah.
single cards. I buy them to actually hand them out, and then the packs that I would have left over, I would just rip them and list them. And they've sold okay. And I really like the foils this year. Look way better.
Yeah.
You gotta check those out. They're pretty cool. So, and
Well, didn't you
100.
say they're only at Costco?
That's the only place I've seen them. That the 120 pack is at Costco.
Oh, okay. All right.
Um, but I think the regular packs are at like Target and Walmart and stuff. They
Okay.
don't really limit that one. It's not the same as the Panini. Panini doesn't
Yeah.
make Pokemon. Um, But the basketball, as far as I understand it, the basketball's only at Costco, and it's that 80 pack, bigger pack. And then football is only at Sam's and of course Walmart, which is the same company.
Yeah.
Um, so Walmart has the small packs, the 40 pack packs, and then the Sam's, I believe it's like an 80 pack or something.
Okay.
with them. So as far as I understand it, that's how you can get them. You can buy them online. Costco, you got to have a membership. So if you don't, have somebody with a membership get them for you or something, I guess. But I have a hard time deciding which one I like more, the football or the basketball, or even the Pokemon at this point, because the Pokemon's so limited in how many characters there are, though. It's like 30 different characters, and that's it. So like you buy one pack and you get like 10 of each card, even the
Sure.
foil. So I really don't find much need in buying, especially at 120 packs. And I didn't even rip them all. I saved a whole bunch to give out at our show. Um, but I don't see really why you'd buy more than one 120 pack to rip.
Right.
You're gonna hand them out fine, but the football, it's like, man, I have a bunch of players in that set I still haven't pulled yet in either variation. I still have not pulled one Barry Sanders, and I've opened 5 packs. So I haven't pulled the pumpkins or the bats. So I feel like, dude, the set's so huge, and there's even though there's a lot of packs, you just don't get that many cards, and there's going to be some demand for some of those. And I think
Yeah.
somebody would love to have like a bat set or a pumpkins. It's cool, it's just fun. It's a fun theme thing. And next year they'll probably come out with a different design. And
Yeah.
I also think it's great, for the hobby. Be able to hand out free packs to kids at Halloween is amazing. It's kind of the
Yeah.
first time they've really
I
put
like
a
that concept.
yeah. So print them, make a whole bunch of them. I'll keep buying the packs. I'll have 200 Drake Mays listed. I don't care. Um, it's fun. I don't mind throwing $20 at that and having a good time with it. I'd love to pull a parallel. Just one would be nice. The basketball is much better for that
That's
if
all
they
I
can do
wanted.
that.
I wanted just one. I
Yeah.
opened almost 1,000 cards, between all those packs, and not
Mhm.
even get one. I was like, wow.
The other thing I like about it is it's just a really nice, easy, cheap entry to get the new rookies. So at least gets the action in your store for people looking for
Yeah.
Drake May and JJ McCarthy. Although I don't know that anybody's looking for JJ McCarthy right now, but
I
um,
sold everyone I had.
I know, but he's out for the season, so
He
I don't
was
know.
already out when I sold him.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but all that quick talent, and they are pro cards. Like they're not college cards. It doesn't really have them in like an action pose or playing a game or anything, but
Yep.
it's kind of the Photoshop Pro uniform, and it's a nice photo of the player, and I don't know, they're pretty sick. So I'm big fan. I hope that they continue something with that. I love the Topps baseball holiday cards. Um,
Oh,
I
the
think we
winter
talked about
holiday
this.
ones.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. Well, they do that with basketball actually too,
Yeah, they do.
which is interesting because that's Panini. Well, why don't they put out a football holiday one? Why did they just do basketball? It's so weird. Because football's still in season then too.
Yeah.
But baseball Tops does the baseball holiday or winter or whatever, and then basketball does one, but it's basically just snow. It's so weird because they're playing in a court and then there's snow
Right.
coming down. Like football makes even more sense to do the snow for Pete's sake,
That
but
is true.
I don't know. It's Panini does weird stuff, so I'm done trying to figure them out, and we don't have to figure them out for much longer. But I would love to see like more holiday theme stuff and more superhero theme stuff, like a
Yep.
comics type card set. Like have some fun with the stupid crappy prism design that they change one angle of the black border every year on is just it just doesn't do it for me. And oh, there's silvers. Yeah, well, there's been silvers even Tops has tried to screw around with the refractors, do X fractors and
Yeah.
they've tried to change, add some flair to it. And I get, Panini does red wave and cracked ice and blah blah blah.
Too
They
many.
definitely have more than enough parallels. It's also very annoying that they don't tell you what any of them are called.
Right.
We all have to sort of make it up and then just agree that's what we call it. Um, I mean, this isn't Panini bitch fest hour, but I'm taking my crack at it here. Um,
In fairness, Wildcard also does not name their parallels.
it's true they do not. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know that that's as big a deal because they're doing unlicensed stuff anyway, but whereas Panini is kind of the main market. Um, but yeah, it'd be nice to just I love how Upper Deck does that. They put the name of the parallel on the back of the card. Like, it's not that hard, red lava, whatever. And I'm like, sweet, that's what it's called. Okay, great. Because I love pulling cards out of boxes and and listing them and selling them. Obviously, it's what I do for a living. But I don't want to spend all day researching
Right.
everything. It's so annoying. I don't want to have to know what is this red one called and
Yeah.
then I'll list it a certain way. Oh, this is an orange reactive because mosaic ones, there's so much going. It's a
Yeah.
freaking disco party on every card. And I'll
Yeah.
list it as orange reactive, and they'll be like, "Oh no, that's actually an orange neon." Someone will message me. I'm like, "Who cares? Who gives a crap?"
And here's a tip, manufacturers. If you're going to tell me, oh, there's not enough room on the card to print all the names, well, then you probably shouldn't make that refractor because the name's too long.
Right. Well, put it on the back. It doesn't need to be on the front. Put it like they mark prism on the back of the card on all
Yeah.
these cards, right? We'll
Yeah.
just put like red wave or gold vinyl or blue ice or
But there's not room for
something.
red, white, and blue prism.
Then call it Patriot Prism or something. I don't
There you go. Get
know.
more creative with the names, right?
Yeah, do something. Like move. It's like you're poking it with a stick. I feel like we're always poking Panini with a stick and they never go anywhere.
Yeah.
And why should they? I, the Halloween cards. I was thinking about this today. I thought that's really strange because Panini's basically getting bounced out of the card game, and yet they put out a card set to promote kids to start trading cards, right? Like, why are they doing this? What is their motivation? Like, why would you put
Good
out
question.
basketball Halloween cards right now when you don't have a license in 2 years or
Yeah.
next year for basketball?
Well,
So it's
in
like there's
fairness,
got to be something there. There's got to be a reason why they're doing it. They're still going to do unlicensed stuff, or they're going to do
that was probably put into play
I don't
over a
know.
year ago, though.
Well, yeah, but that license has changed hands. I think it was almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I highly doubt it was on the printer 2 years ago. But I just thought it was interesting. Like now they're going to do something to promote cards to kids, and
Yeah,
try to get stuff in hand. Like I don't know. It just seemed like a weird angle. I could see if Tops had put something out for Halloween. That would make sense. Like an unlicensed football Halloween product. Like, okay, this is a good idea. They're going to get these cards into these kids' hands, and then when they make licensed stuff, next year they've got all these new buyers, right? So they
right,
can, get more cards out there, and these kids love the Halloween packs, and so that would have made some sense. But yeah, I don't know why Panini would do it now. What is their motivation behind that to get new buyers into cards, get new kids into cards? Why do they care?
right,
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I would love it if Wildcard did something like that. Wildcard does like their stocking stuffer promotion every year for Halloween or for Christmas.
hmm
Um, but they're not holiday cards. Like, dude, you make all these awesome designs for cards. The Paul Skeens Mount Rushmore card is amazing.
yeah,
That's one of my favorite designs that they've ever done. There's all these ones with the different flags in the background and stuff like that. That eagle, you know.
hmm
Um, make a card with freaking Santa in the background or something. That would
yeah.
be that would be baller. I want to see more of that. I love the oh, there is a holiday football product, isn't there? Because you can get the card with where they're wearing the sweaters, the holiday sweaters.
But I don't know that that's a complete holiday set.
I don't know. But I just caught myself because I was like, oh yeah, I have a Justin
There,
Jefferson card with this sweet holiday sweater.
yeah,
You're right. I think that's just like an insert. I don't think the cards have any sort of holiday action to them. Yeah, I have one of the holiday sweater cards like right here. I can grab. Kind of.
What are you grabbing? A sweater card?
Yeah, I was going to. I have some right here. I was just looking at these today, but now I gotta try to dig it out. Yeah, I love the sweater cards. I think that's a brilliant idea. Obviously, they're not game worn or anything like that, but they don't make any of that cool stuff anymore anyway. It's
That's
all
true. Yeah.
player worn or out of some, Shopko reject jersey bin that they just cut up. So yeah, here's the Elijah Moore one. He's
Yep.
got a Santa hat on, and it just says the enclosed authentic memorabilia not from game or event. Are you sure? Because it's just a sweater. Rookie sweaters, and then it's like a picture of him in like a um ornament, with the
Right.
snow in it, and he's got his winter hat on, and so I guess there is some kind of, and that's Donruss. So you're right, that is not a special set. It's just the Donruss blaster box that has a sweater card in it.
Right.
I believe that's how that goes. But then why not just make like a football set with snow on it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't understand where some of these decisions come from. Like, so you go through all the trouble of cutting up Christmas sweaters and putting them in cards, but you didn't make like a card you could just print with snow on it, a snow pattern on it, and you do that for basketball. So clearly, it's not that
Right.
complicated. I don't know. It's just
And for
whatever.
baseball, you put these metallic snowflakes on everything.
Well, Tops does that,
Yeah.
so that's different. And Tops can't make a basketball product and can't make a football product. Now they can.
Now they can. Where'd you go?
Trying to put these stupid cards back away. These damn jersey. I hate jersey cards. I loved them when they mattered, when it was like game used and stuff. Like I got some really nice Favre stuff.
Sure.
Um, luckily, when they made most of his jersey cards, are actually cool. Like I have laundry tags and stuff. They don't do anything cool anymore like that. I mean, I guess they still do the logo man basketball stuff. I think those are still game worn. They better be. Um, but they really don't do anything for the other sports. Thomas. Let's see. I got a. Why am I charging so much for this? Yeah, I'll take your offer. I have a I have a Fleer Gaudy Thurman Thomas, just a base card, listed at
Okay.
$2.99. And the guy offered me $2.75. Yes, sold.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm asking $2.99 for it. It's just a base card. I mean, they're mini, but all the more reason to get the hell out of the house. I do not like minis. I love to buy minis, I hate to stock minis, and I love to sell minis. It's a love to hate to love
Yeah.
relationship.
Love hate
I've sold a
relation.
lot of Gaudy cards in the last couple weeks. One of my big monster boxes, um, from that buy in Green Bay, I got a whole stack of the Gaudy minis. So I listed those right away because they get so lost in the boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just wanted them on there. Luckily, it was a bunch of the Gale Sayers, where it's actually the Gale Sayers on the card, because
I
they did
remember
the,
you getting those. Yeah.
yeah, and I got like 10 or 15 copies of each different variation, and those do pretty well. Sold some of those yesterday too. So yeah, I like it as the Gaudis are going. I can pack them up and ship them because they're mini and
Right.
want those out of there. Oh, apparently with Optic they do a red and green parallel in a blaster, but the base is still the plain. Like, but why? What's Maybe they don't do it because there's actually snow pictures on cards because football gets played in snow. So they're like, well, how are we going to do the ones where it's the photo of the player playing in snow? I don't know.
That's
It's weird.
overthinking
Right?
it.
But I like answers, and I can't call Panini because they're not gonna answer me, so I have to sort of make something up in my head of as a rationale, and that's the best I got. Panini.
Let it go. Let it go.
We don't have to deal with Panini. Hey, somebody on my Facebook friends list just posted their picture of them in front of the Home Alone house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they stopped this past week when they were heading through that area. So it's like, hey,
Nice.
I'll be going there next summer. So yeah, it was kind of fun. Yeah, there's like really nothing you can do, and it's like a fancy neighborhood, so you got to take your picture and get the hell out before they
Yeah.
chase you out
Yeah.
with a bat. You know, I know at one time I think because it's up for sale again right now.
Oh, is
Um,
it?
yeah, I know at one time one of the previous owners, like not that long ago, was like they tried to like gate off the area and not allow people in there at all. And then they were like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna work. You're
That's
gonna
not
just have
gonna
to
work.
let let people get out of the stupid car, take their picture, and move along. Nobody's gonna do anything, you know. Just let them
Put
get their
on their pink
picture." And
nightmare bunny suit.
no, wrong movie. That's the wrong movie. You'd have to put on like you'd have to do your, you know,
Yeah, the Home
your,
Alone house. Yeah.
yeah, you have to do that face, or you got to do. I don't know what else you could bring with you. You could wear the stupid hat with the tassels that he wore. You could do. Um, you could have a paint can with you or a box of micro machines. You know, you could prop up. You could have some props a little bit, I guess, while you're there. But yeah, you don't get to go in the house or anything. It's not that kind of thing. It's not as cool as the Christmas Story house that way.
I had a revelation this week. I was at work and I was mapping out a route for a delivery, and I saw a little bit of the Gulf of Mexico, and I backed out and I saw all of Florida, and I said, I want to go to the Florida Keys for my next vacation. So that's my goal: sell enough cards to go to the Florida Keys.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
you better bring a
and
fan with you because that place
and
gets hot.
and maybe by then I just stay there and sell cards from the Florida Keys.
Yeah, that sounds like a solid plan. I just had some
Would-
friends build a house down there and they moved there. They're like right out, well, not the Keys. They're in the like Disney area.
yeah,
Um, and they built a house down there and retired there. So, and they're seem pretty happy about it. I don't think I would want to live there. I'm not that big a fan of Florida. I'll visit, but I don't know that I would
yeah.
want to live there. There's other areas that
I
I would
wouldn't
rather
want to
live.
live in the mainland, but
No,
the Keys vibe, I think I could handle.
I think it's very expensive.
Yeah, probably like Hawaii,
Yeah.
but the margaritas are inexpensive.
That could be. You can always make your own. You make your own, that always helps. That always helps. This is funny. Just say no to double snow.
Double snow.
That's
Yeah.
great. I love it. Yeah, that's the only reason I can think of that they wouldn't do. But I can't even think of too many base cards that had snow on. Does any football team still play in snow? Don't they all have like freaking domes and stuff?
No,
I mean,
there's still outdoor stadiums.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
there's
well,
one here.
yeah, I know that, but I mean, like the vast majority of them aren't playing in snow. And the Super Bowl's never in snow.
No, definitely not.
So the draft might be in snow this year though.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time in April we had a snowstorm, right?
Yep, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we throw them some wrenches. That'll be part of the fun.
Although I don't remember having one that late in April, so they're probably pretty safe.
Isn't it the second week of April? Is the
I thought it was
draft?
towards the
Or am
end
I
of
wrong?
April,
Oh, I thought it
like
was like
20,
the
20 something.
oh, I thought it was like the 12th or something. I don't know. I'm not very good at that schedule type stuff. I'll worry about that when it gets closer. That's way
Right.
far off in the future right now. Browns might get a dome in the future. Yeah, I could see. Well, You guys don't get that much snow in Cleveland, though, do you? I can't imagine you would need a dome. Like, we get real snow, like it here in Minnesota and stuff like that. I could see Buffalo. Um, I could see those cities. Like something to keep out the snow, but I'm kind of surprised with Lambeau they haven't done anything like that, like a dome they could close and open, kind of like Milwaukee. But
Yeah, I don't know. Part of the mystique of Lambeau is the snow games.
right, and that's your home field advantage, right? You get
Yeah.
you get Miami into the stadium in January, and you play in the snow. But
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for me. I'm pooped. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to bed. I
I gotta get.
had a long day.
Me too. I mean, I came here straight off the football field. I gotta get cleaned up and back to work at 6 a.m. So
Right. Yeah. I don't know why you do these things.
I don't know why either. I guess I just like to torture myself.
You must. I have stacks of Teddy 2 gloves to list tomorrow, so
Nice.
that's on the docket. I gotta get into some of the national stuff, shiny stuff that I had to put aside for a bit. How you doing on the scanner?
It's so great to have it back. I've listed a few hundred cards already.
Nice.
And I've got stuff loaded in the auto loader 1000 right now, just waiting for me to hit the switch.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I just reloaded my listings, so I've got 3 monster boxes of can be scanned cards.
Okay.
I found that to be pretty helpful. So when I have the scanner, I pull those boxes out and I just grab chunks and list. And then when I don't have the scanner, I put those away and the shiny boxes come out. And that's worked pretty well for me. That's how much
Very
inventory I have to list still, though. I have like 7 monster boxes right now, which is
nice.
crazy. Yeah, not planning to buy a whole lot in the very near future.
I'm
But we'll see.
actually I turned on the auto loader right now and I'm gonna scan some in. I don't know if my mic will pick it up because it kind of suppresses a lot of the
Mhm.
background noise, but it's a sweet sound.
All right,
Here it
go.
comes. Some WWE cards coming right through.
It's too slow. You need to drop down your DPI.
It's slow.
It's too slow. Drop it,
I also have a
drop it down
gap
to
in them.
300. Mine
I
goes.
have a gap in them because I'm actually scanning more than one set right now for non-sport.
Oh,
So then I just put a little gap in the auto loader and
yep.
then I can stop it in between and
It's a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't use the auto. I just do it batch by batch, as you know. But yeah, that's the one downside to non-sport. Like, I wish you could just scan sports and non-sport together. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Someday.
Maybe. It sounds like eBay might have their, fast listing program up and running pretty soon too.
I keep hearing that.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, if it's free and it works, that's a great way to go.
Free?
Allegedly, that's how they're going to be at least starting it out. Because I'm up to a pretty good price tag per month now with Car Dealer Pro. So
Yeah, because you upgraded, right?
I did. Well, I was running out of scans when I still had the scanner, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I have so much inventory right because you can change your plan every month.
Right.
I have so much stuff to list right now. Like if I get all that stuff listed and caught up, well, I'll just drop my plan down. If I don't need as many scans.
Sure. Uh-oh, I lost you there for a minute. Did your battery die, or is it my internet again? I think this is a great idea, Dan. Scanner ASMR. We'll just record that for an hour and see what happens. All right. Well, I'm guessing Adam lost his battery for the night. It usually happens at about this time. So with that, I will say goodnight to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Come on out to our card show September 8th if you can. There he is. He must have plugged in.
Yeah, no, I'm on my phone now. The battery on the laptop gave up, so
that's what I told him.
I'm doing this now.
So yeah, we started saying our goodnights, Adam.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I think we've done enough damage for tonight. We're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. This is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how we come up with that much to talk about every week. It's crazy. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
The mic on. Thanks everybody so much in the chat for participating, and Charlie for jumping in. I know you had a busy day. Appreciate you all. Hopefully put up another video yet this week. We'll see. So busy. It just feels like it doesn't take the priority like it once did when I wasn't quite as busy. But we'll see what happens. If anybody has topics they want covered in a video, shout it out. I feel like I've covered so much at this point. I don't know how many more videos I can make that, it has any value to it really. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll just do a sales day video. I just have fun with those. That's always a good time. And I didn't sell as much today, so it should be a quick pull. I should have time to make a video, so maybe I'll do that.
And I am working on an updated liquidity list for basketball. And I think it's going to turn some heads. It might be a historic list from what I'm seeing so far, but I don't think I'll have it published until Monday, just with going out of town for the holiday and not having got a varsity game tomorrow night, so I know I won't be able to work on it then, and then out of town on Friday as soon as I'm out of the office. So I will work on it up north and hopefully have it ready to publish on Monday for everybody. What
about a soccer liquidity list?
I've got it on the list. I just got to find some time to do that. I hadn't had my regulars in rotation for a little bit, so I figured I owed some lists there to get back on track. But I did get the WWE one, well, wrestling one, not just WWE. I do have some things started for soccer as well, just not that close to delivering on that one yet.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a big wrench in your plan here. I want a non-sport one.
Yeah, I don't know how I would do that. It's such a wide scope.
But I have faith in you, Charlie.
Yeah, I might be able to.
You can do it. You can do it. It would be fun.
I'll see what I can come up with on that.
All right. Anything else? Any parting shots?
For me, just the normal. Peace out. Take care of each other.
You can't sell what you don't list. Bye, everybody.